afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Welcome to NFL Flag. In this game, there's a position for everyone. No matter who you are.
Let's go! Throw what you got!
Lace up your cleats, smear on your eye black, step out on the field, and start having fun. This is flag football, and this game is our game.
This game! Our game! This game! Our game! This game! Our game!
Visit NFL.com to find a league and get playing today.
1, 2, 3, let's play!
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Cap.
A little sabor? And we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Cap is on for your Friday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Here we go, Friday. That bumper-to-bumper rush hour traffic on this Friday, March 21st. At least you got shit out of a Cappy with you. And all that Friday fun and frivolity. We're talking hoops. We're talking baseball. We'll talk whatever you want.
Assure you 1,000%. You come walking in stone sober, right?
Stone sober.
Okay.
Yes.
Just be on the lookout. I'm gonna do for you now, Mike.
Okay.
Okay. Beware of my girlfriend, as she is affectionately known around these parts as Rachel.
Oh, so Rachel will be have had a couple of beverages by then.
Not only that, but she will have gummied the entire party.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's the doser. And she'll be like, open up your mouth, because here comes your gummy.
Yeah, it's a negative.
Negative.
Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is
Really? I don't know, man.
No.
She's very persuasive.
No, I'm driving, and then I'm driving back after like an hour, so we won't be doing that.
Look at that.
Probably Uber.
Look at that.
Probably Uber.
Let's do it. The LA Afternoon Drive takeover for your Friday afternoon.
Hey, Jerusalem Cherry.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah. You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year.
Christopher can go to hell. Oh, nothing worse than the horse.
Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Assminger. Ladies, hard knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm back in Dayton. You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm.
I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
Sedano and Cap. Friday right now.
Boom, beanam, bop, doom, da, bop.
By the way, I was watching this incredible ending to North Carolina Ole Miss while you guys were talking about Bronny. So there was a lot of like oohing and eyeing while you guys were talking, because the game was just insane. Down
Crazy game. I mean, Ole Miss had
our
this
boy
huge
Harlan
lead.
doing that game.
Oh, Harlan was doing the game?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear it because we're in here in the studio. And but yeah, like Ole Miss, big lead, and then North Carolina battles back.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, George. We talked about how into college basketball we are or are not during the regular season. And I go into the NCAA tournament like, I haven't really watched that much. I don't have any real strong opinions. I'm filling out my bracket like minutes before the tip. But then they always find a way to get you, They always find a way. Last night for me, UCSD.
Oh, I thought they were going to pull it off against Michigan. They should have, to be honest with you. They had so many opportunities down the stretch.
It was so amazing. You've got Michigan, who's got these 2 7-foot white guys.
Yeah.
You talk about, like, if I were a 7-foot white guy, God, I'd want to play in the NBA. These 2 guys are going to walk around the mall the rest of their life, and people are going to go, yo, who did you play for? Because they're terrible. The point I'm trying to make is this. You had a team, UCSD, didn't have a guy on the floor taller than 6'5".
Yeah.
And they were down and getting smoked by halftime.
And they came back.
Grinded away, and they made shots. And there was this one guy on the team, not that I knew who he was before the tournament. They kept pronouncing his name as Magai. And I was like, my guy. Yeah, that's my guy right there. He's making some Luka-type moves, step back, 3-point shots, caught fire. They lost their best player, and they still almost pulled it out. It's that story of a little school that's never been in the NCAA tournament before against a big-name brand like Michigan, and you almost do it. It's stories like that get you into the tournament, even when you don't watch college basketball all year.
No, it was great. Yeah, I was watching it down the stretch.
I'll give you another one. How about the fact that Arkansas beats Kansas? We talked about that a little bit yesterday.
Right, Calipari, yeah.
And now you've got Calipari taking on Rick Pitino at St. John's.
Yeah. Is it Calipari or Calipari?
I mean, I don't know. It's probably Pari, if I had to guess.
All I know is this. You got two legendary coaches who both, have history down in Kentucky. And now these two guys at separate schools trying to, I don't want to say rehab their careers, just like get another shot is probably a better way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And these two guys are going to face off in the second round. I mean, these are the storylines that take a guy like me who doesn't really have that much interest in college basketball all year and go, this is unbelievable. Every year they get me.
You got to watch. You got to watch McNeese State. They're playing against Purdue tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a feeling that they're going to upset Purdue.
Well,
Will Wade, as I mentioned, he used to be the coach at LSU, and he got into some trouble there.
Right.
And he's been at McNeese, and now he's getting a new job. Like he already got a new job. He's coaching this team.
Yeah.
And he's coaching NC State next year.
Right. And and coaches move around. Like there was controversy at the beginning of the tournament. West Virginia should be in. Indiana should be in. The West Virginia coach was there for a year. He left to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
McNeese State.
By the way, I love that my guy Jay Billis tweeted this out yesterday and put it on his IG too. Of like, he put like a picture of Will Wade or whatever in the caption about he's leaving, and he's like, just remember this when everybody talks to you about how much they hate the transfer portal. The coaching transfer portal is always open.
Oh, wide open. Hey, McNeese State, real quick. You know how every year in the NCAA tournament a star is born, but he's not or she's not necessarily a player?
Yeah.
Are you guys following the story of the McNeese State trainer who now has like more NIL money than any player at McNeese State?
Amir Khan.
And they call him, George, you're going to love this. Do you know his nickname, George?
No, what?
Aura. They call him Aura Khan. So his name is Amir Khan.
Thank you for letting me share in your aura.
And they call him Aura Khan. And this dude is like this short, little, pudgy guy. He shows up with this giant boombox. He walks out with the entire McNeese State team behind him, rapping and doing his thing. The cheerleaders are all wearing socks that have his face all over them. And he's got deals now with companies like Buffalo Wild Wings, Tick Picks, some cookie company that stays out open
careful
all
with
night.
that word.
What, Tick Picks?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a ticket thing. I think.
No, it is a ticket thing. I know. It's
All right,
just the name is scary if you're on the radio. There,
right, but it's a good name for that reason. You know what I mean? So here's this dude who's the equipment manager, like student manager, and he got more money. So the point is that a star is born. This is like this. What was her name? Sister something or other. Sister Jean.
Yeah, Sister Jean was at Loyola Chicago a couple years ago.
So she became a big star. Now you got Aura Khan, and you should ask him if you could share in his aura. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I'd love to share in his aura.
I'm sure you would, as would I. We should invite him to
Thank you for letting me share in your aura.
Yeah. See if he was available for Mason's birthday tonight.
I mean, it seems like he's busy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it would be kind of cool if you and I walked in and we brought Aura Khan and he was playing with his boombox and you and me were rapping in the background like we were Run DMC, Just an idea.
Would we be wearing like low-top Adidas,
You're darn right. Adidas. Yeah. Shout
Cappy,
out.
you got a lot of energy today.
You know why? Let me tell you why. I think it's very vital. That's right, on time. It's tricky to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time is tricky. Yeah, I have a lot of energy today, George. You want to know why?
Why? Because you were stuck in traffic for like 6 hours?
Oh, bro.
I mean, it's Friday.
I know.
I don't know if you know that.
I know. Listen, everybody who's stuck in traffic right now, take your time, chill out with us. We're going to get you home safely. But since you're already on the roads, hustle it up.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the traffic on the way up today was in mother effing sane.
In mother effing sane?
Correct.
Okay.
Crazy what's going on out there. Can barely move.
Okay.
Took me a long ass time.
Now, was Rachel with you?
No. Rachel wisely decided she was going to take the train at 4:40 and get to Union Station at 7. And then I'm going to go pick her up, and we're going to go to Venice, and then we're going to go to Mason's party. But if I were a betting man, if Prize Picks gave me the option more or less on Rachel actually making it, sadly, I'd have to go less.
Really?
Oh, she did the whole, I'll meet you later thing, and you think she's going to bail completely?
She's super, super busy at work right now.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
it's tax season.
Yeah, and she's just underwater at work, And I hope she makes it because I know that the party will be a hell of a lot more fun with her than without her.
Well, I mean, Trudell clearly has no interest in Rachel right now.
That may be the case, but I'll tell you right now, 99% of the party is going to love the fact that she's there. Because when the party's over, everybody will be like, man, I don't know who her boyfriend was, but that hot chick, right? She was great, man. She was fun. Yeah. She's the life of the party, bro. So,
well, Cappy,
I hope she makes it.
I want to get into a couple things. We kind of started talking about it with John about Bronny because you were at a level of excitement that I wasn't expecting from you yesterday.
Well, I'm rooting for the kid.
Okay, well, save it. Let's talk a little bit about this more on the other side, and then we can actually talk about what's next, right? Because there's some games coming up here. They're all important, but there's a level of importance I think that people need to be aware of. So let's get into all that coming up. Stick around, 710 ESPN. But first,
tomorrow, it's an MLS Western Conference showdown as LAFC battle Sporting KC at Children's Mercy Park.
On the ground, Ordaz in the middle. To a Bobasi, left-footed shot, and
Can the black and gold bounce back with a win? Or will Sporting KC defend their home turf?
goal! Jeremy Bobasi! Goal, LAFC!
LAFC versus Sporting KC. Pre-game starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the ESPN LA app.
At Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, we believe you should love who you want to love. And during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you can lease a brand new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Premium all-wheel drive for just $329 per month for 36 months with $39.39 due at signing. Visit Ocean Subaru today.
With approved credit through Subaru Motors Finance, not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Lease for 10,000 miles per year. VIN RH915476. MSRP $39.50 plus tax, tag, title, and doc fee. Zero security deposit. See dealer for complete details. Expires 3/31/2025.
Next Gen is the official AC, heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Is your heating and AC system ready to power through the season? From quick tune-ups to full replacements, Next Gen has you covered. For a limited time, ESPN LA listeners can get a heating and AC tune-up for just $88. That's right. Stay in the game all season with an $88 heating and AC tune-up from Next Gen. Call 833-3NEXTGEN today.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Hey, it's Mace. Want a new game to get excited about? Check out Chumba Casino, your favorite online social casino. It's free to play, no strings attached. Enjoy social casino games like bingo, slingo, and slots and more with new releases every week, whether you're at home or on the go. Play for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get started today at ChumbaCasino.com.
Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, and Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement, and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Michelle Smallman here. Do you want to be at the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft. Experience the thrill of the draft firsthand and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't wait. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Sedano and Kap on 710.
Yeah.
Sedano and Kap continues.
Not really.
Right now.
Oh, Thriller, Cappy.
I'm doing the dance. I'm doing it.
Yeah. Number one dance track in America, 1983, today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember the video. It was like 15 minutes long or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, and remember the beginning of the video when Michael is with this girl?
He's at the movie theater.
Right, and he says, I have to tell you something about me. And like we all thought, I was 13 years old. We're like, oh, he's about to say something like really, really important. And it was just about the video. Like it was not like, as a 13-year-old kid, my mom had just picked me up from soccer practice. I was like, I can't wait to watch MTV. I can't wait. Michael's got the new video. And we thought he was going to say something important.
What did he end up saying?
I don't think he just pretty much that he was he was a thriller, like the eyes turned green, and he's kind of a monster,
Right.
As I recall.
I do remember that, yeah.
But that was 1983, just to be clear.
It was 1983, yes.
Right,
Cappy.
right.
I was 6.
I was being bar mitzvahed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cappy, let's talk a little bit about Bronny, and let's talk a little bit about the Lakers, because they got Chicago this weekend or whatever, and I don't think Chicago is like anything to cry home about. But then they go on the road, and they have struggled on the road. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But you were very into the Bronny game, like I was. So I was kind of flipping around. I was watching college basketball. I was watching the NBA, and I was in and out of the Laker game. And then the game just kind of got out of hand. And I'm like, you know what? I'd much rather watch this UC San Diego game against Michigan, to be honest with you. So I was more focused on that while kind of keeping tabs sort of on my phone on the Lakers. But
focus.
Thank you, Pepe. I appreciate it. I'm sure you were focused. But look, I get it. Okay, I get that there's going to be a lot of attention today on Bronny's game, and understandably so. And I'm happy for the kid. Okay, but I want him to do well, in the sense of like I want him to have some level of consistency when he plays. That this becomes less and less of a thing. Like every time he scores double digits, we got to have like stop the world and stuff. Because I think it's actually better for him that way. Because it's better for him because A, he'd be becoming more consistent, and B, we would just be like, okay, yeah, he's just a regular player now, and we can just kind of move on. Because I just feel like this extra attention is not helpful to anyone.
Well, I was kind of in the same boat last night. I was watching this UCSD versus Michigan game, and I had the YouTube TV, George, with the 4 boxes, and I had UCLA up on the top screen and UCSD down on the bottom screen, because I thought, well, this has never happened before, where we've got UCLA and UCSD in the same NCAA tournament and playing at the exact same time. So I was kind of watching those two games, and I was flipping back to the Laker game, and I was realizing that Bronny was getting some run, and I actually was still watching the college game when I went over to my phone and looked at the box score, and I realized Bronny's the leading scorer with 10 points. So I went back to the Laker game, and when it was all said and done, the draft class of 2024, Dalton Knecht and Bronny James, those were your 2 leading scorers. They combined for 34 points. Your draft class contributed. Yes, in a loss where the Lakers got annihilated. But wait a second. Did you expect the Lakers to win that game? Because I don't know about the rest of you guys. No LeBron, no Luka, no Austin Reeves, no Dorian Finney-Smith, no Jared Vanderbilt, no Rui. I mean, that's 6 of your top 7 or 8 guys. And they're all sitting in street clothes. So that was a sacrifice game as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got blown out by 30-plus points. But why? Here's just a question for everybody. Because I've been getting my ass handed to me all day long.
Oh, okay.
Why is it so hard to just say he played the best game of his young career? Why does it always have to be, yeah, he scored 17 points in a game where they got destroyed? And yeah, I'm not impressed with that. I'm like, wait, timeout. How hard is it to make it to the NBA? And then it's,
there's only 450 guys doing it, approximately.
Well, he didn't earn it. He didn't earn his way there.
Okay.
I get it. He did not have a stellar college career. He was not the number one player in high school, and yet he got all the accolades. Yes, his father forced the Lakers essentially to take him in the draft. All these things can be true. But can it also be true that he played his best game of his young career?
And by the way, we talked about this when I mentioned earlier, when you were having your fun about it. And I said, he's going to play mostly in the G League. And he has, by the way, played mostly in the G League when he's actually played. And when he's played in the G League, pretty recently, he's played really damn well at that level. So, yeah, there is a sense of the kid is actually developing. Let's just let him develop and see what happens.
But it just blows my mind how rather than just saying, because this to me I was watching this last night and I'm watching like a father. I'm not watching like a basketball player. I'm watching like a father, this young brother. I'm watching this thing last night and I'm rooting for him. Why is it so bad to root for the guy? Oh, because his father forced the Lakers to take him? I got that part of the story. I agree with that part of the story. But that part of the story is in the rearview mirror now. So why is it so wrong to root for this kid? And listen, when he's successful, like he was individually, statistically last night, and you may say to yourself, well, what was so successful? They lost by 30-some-odd points. The guy was 70% from the field. This is an NBA basketball game. Game like number 60-something. This isn't game 1 or 2. This is late in the regular season, not the summer league, not the preseason, not the G League. He ain't playing in Italy or Israel or China. This is an NBA basketball game. So while he may not have, quote unquote, earned his way into his draft pick or his salary, what's so wrong with saying the kid's making the most of his opportunity when, oh, by the way, everybody crushed him when he got worked in Philadelphia? George, I'm so pissed right now, actually, because I'm telling you, I've been getting my ass handed to me all day long about this.
Are we racking you?
Somebody rack me.
I think that's worthy of racking.
I need rackability. I want to be racked, and I deserve to be racked. George, do you concur with that?
Yeah, I generally concur with you. Here's what I will say.
My rackability, you mean?
Both. How about
that? Thank you.
Okay. So here's what I would say, okay? Laker fans may remember this, okay?
All right.
There was a guy, okay, that played on the Lakers G League team, okay? And he was a career, G League type guy. His name was Andre Ingram, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he was been in the G League so long that it wasn't even the South Bay Lakers. It was the LA Defenders at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then came back and played for the South Bay Lakers. And at the end of the season in 2018, okay, this is the 17-18 season. So this is the year before LeBron got here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Los Angeles Lakers for the final 2 games of the year signed Andre Ingram. And he made his NBA debut. Scored 19 points, had 4 3-pointers, in a loss against the Rockets, okay? He was 32 years old at that point, okay? He was the second oldest rookie in the NBA since Pablo Prigioni did it. And Pablo Prigioni came, with real international accolades. He just came to the NBA late in his career. You know what I mean? Andre Ingram didn't have any of that. He was a guy who people got behind, okay? But did he deserve that opportunity to be in the NBA? I don't know. Probably not. That Lakers team was pretty terrible. I get it. But, they basically signed him because it was a good publicity situation for them. And it was a cool story of, here's this guy at 32 years old who's been busting his ass, trying to get to the league, right? But if we're really being honest and not just cynical, he didn't really deserve to be on the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, so, and by the way, he had a second stint on the Lakers the following season too, for a brief opportunity. So that's the type of stuff, though, that people were cheering and getting behind. Look how awesome this is. Even though, more than likely, if you talk to anybody around the sport, it was like, yeah, that wasn't really like someone who really deserved to be in the NBA, but they signed him, and he made the most of it. He had, whatever it was, 18, 19 points in his first game. And it was a cool, awesome story, and it was everywhere, and it was on SportsCenter, and it was, it was a cool deal. I just feel like we're almost being a little hypocritical in that sense with Bronny, because they're not that far off in regards to those stories. And it's actually a story that involved the Lakers not that long ago.
Just for me, I root for underdogs, okay? Bronny James, you may look at him and go, he's not an underdog. He's been handed everything. Okay, I acknowledge that. I do. He was handed, he's LeBron's son, which gave him the best guy to practice with, the best coaches, the best trainers, the best dietitians, et cetera, the best equipment to practice with, the best high school, surrounded him with the best high school talent. Was he worthy of all of the high school accolades that he received? First of all, I'll be totally transparent when I say I wasn't watching all of his high school basketball games. And by the way, I'm also not some high school basketball scout. But if I had to take a guess, he was given a lot of those accolades because of who his father is.
Look, I called one of his games, okay, on ESPN 2.
Yeah.
I was on play-by-play with Paul Biancardi.
Hey there, I'm George Sedano.
With Paul Biancardi, who is like our high school like recruiting guy, okay, like who ranks the players or whatever. And he had Bronny, and this was his junior year. He had Bronny in his top 40, okay. So, I want to say it was like low 30s. So it wasn't like he was ranking him in the top 10 or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, and in that game that we did, it was actually Sierra Canyon against St. Vincent St. Mary, which is LeBron's old high school, okay? And they played at then Staples Center. We called the game. It was on ESPN2. Bronny had 17 points in that game. And, like, defended at a really high level, by the way, against a bunch of guys, or not a bunch, but a number of guys who were Division I players on the other side, including having teammates who were Division I players who he scored equally or close to being the top scorer of the game in that particular contest. So this notion that he's like a charity case across his career is nonsense. That's not true either.
Okay, but the thing is this. He got all the All-American honors when he may or may not have deserved them. I'm not an expert. Let's just throw that one off to the side for a second. When he got to USC and he obviously had the heart condition, he was a big NIL star. He made a lot of money as an NIL player, but not because of his game, but because of his name. Okay, fine. Let's move that over to the other side. He gets drafted, and kind of people started to talk positively about him in the draft. Oh, this team might be interested. That team might be interested. People were offended then, oh, by the way, because, he told them, I'm not working out for you guys, and I'm not working out for you guys.
Well, he didn't tell them. The agent said.
Agents, parents, whoever. I'm only going to this team, or this team. Like, dictating to the NBA. So
right.
I understand.
Which, by the way, Austin Reeves told people not to draft him. Or his agent told them not to draft him.
Because as a free agent, you then have a decision as to where to go, and you
Correct.
can make the best decision. So that happens, but it's not publicized like this because of who the kid is.
Of course.
So people want to hate on this kid, and look, earlier in the season, that game against Philadelphia, it was.
Oh yeah, he had no business
terrible.
being on the floor in that game.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And last night,
but again, if you remember the circumstances,
right?
They were coming up a back-to-back. They were incredibly injured, and JJ was just trying to look for a spark and didn't have a lot of guards to play in that game.
Okay, but just why is it though that when the kid is horrendous, like he was against Philadelphia, everybody jumps all over him? Look,
correct.
He doesn't belong.
And when he plays well, we don't give him his props for that game.
And when you do, and this is pissing me freaking off. And when you do give him his props, why is it that immediately all the people out there go like this? Oh, you must have gotten the email today from LeBron, or
because that's how people are.
I know, but the point is that
Cappy,
I'm trying
people
to be,
are idiots.
I know, but I'm trying to be.
They're jerk faces.
But I'm trying to be down the middle on this. I acknowledge everything. He was force-fed to the Lakers. He was drafted in a place where maybe he did or he did not really belong. He was given a 4-year guaranteed contract comparable to those that were drafted around him. All of those things are true. But you know what else is true? He played his best game in the NBA last night in a losing effort, I acknowledge. But why is it that when the kid goes 70% from the field and you go, we may have just seen Bronny show us that maybe there's something there. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're on LeBron's payroll. Regardless of that part of it, it's like, why can't we just say the kid played a decent game last night in a losing effort, and he probably exceeded most of our expectations?
Well, no, right, because that would just be too easy to do it that way. Everybody's got to be a skeptic and a cynic, bro. Everybody's got to have their hot take, bro. Everybody's got to feel like they're, feeding the machine, bro. That's the reality of the world we live in. And that machine is social media. Everybody's got a voice. And it comes at you like a furnace blast. And that's part of the deal, unfortunately.
I mean, just the constant knock and the discredit. If you're going to kill the guy for getting annihilated,
then give him some Then give him a little love when he does something, when he plays well.
Because here's what some buddies of mine were telling me earlier today.
That, by the way, that would be the fair thing to do.
But my guys were telling me earlier today on the Cappy Cast, the Lakers won the game last night, right? And I'm like, well, no, they got destroyed. They're like, oh, well, if you watched ESPN last night, you wouldn't have known that the Lakers lost. You would have thought that the Lakers won because there was so much fanfare around Bronny. That pisses people off.
Okay. Well, sorry that, that's the case. People have interest in him. He moves the needle.
I will say I was actually there in attendance last night, and he actually looked like a basketball player. Like, he was actually doing moves, getting to the rim, coming off pick and rolls, actually looking like he had a nice shot. And even when he would rebound, outletting the ball up ahead of the court, like, he looked like an NBA player and doing things on the floor. Compared to the Sixers game, we just throw him out in the wolves where he's unprepared, and he goes in there and it's like, oh, damn, like, I wasn't expecting to play. Right. This game, he knew he was expected to play. There was guys that are like, the injury report came out early in the morning. He knew he was going to be playing because how many guys were on the roster at that point. Yep. So he was mentally prepared and ready to go in this game. And I'm pretty sure J.J. Redick gave him a scouting report. Hey, look, this is what we're going to do. This is how the offense is going to look. This is our defensive assignment. So he had a full scouting report going into this game compared to in Philadelphia, where he's coming off of a G League game, having to fly into Philadelphia because injuries unexpectedly happened in that time. So I felt like he was more prepared in this game leading into Milwaukee.
No question about it, DeAndre, and that's an excellent point. And I would also add
it's
that
point. It's okay. It's not that great.
I will also add that Philadelphia game, and as overmatched as he looked there, probably helped serve him well,
of course,
moving forward.
Yes, of course, because now when you're like, hey, I wasn't prepared physically, mentally, the coach didn't tell me, they just
even emotionally.
Right, exactly. So, look, all I'm going to say about it is I'm actually rooting for the young brother, okay? Like my boy Stephen A. said today, maybe I was wrong. You see, not enough people are willing to admit that there's a possibility
right.
You might have been wrong. I'm not telling you today that you can book him for the Hall of Fame. They haven't already announced that Bronny James is an all-star for next season, okay? JJ hasn't announced that he's now the starter going into the playoffs. He had one good game in a monster loss, but he played on a G League roster, quote-unquote, a G League roster last night against a team that's, a top 4 type team from the Eastern Conference that had everybody at their disposal other than one of their stars.
Yeah. Mike Andrade, I want to congratulate him because he just tweeted at me, and this is the most fair assessment I've seen to date. Real talk about Bronny. I hope that he develops into a player like Gabe Vincent. He's as good a role model and has the same body size, but Bronny has a little more athleticism. I hope he continues to grow and develop. Don't expect him to be a consistent contributor till year 3. Yeah, like Gabe Vincent is actually a great role model for Bronny just based on stature and things of that nature. And by the way, Gabe Vincent was a baller at UC Santa Barbara, you know what I mean, and had to toil through the G League a bunch before getting his opportunity on the NBA.
Well, think about this. The Lakers in the last few years, think about some of the guys that they've drafted. I'll give you an example. Look at Max Christie, okay? Max Christie's rookie season, he's a child. Did he contribute his rookie
I know
year?
You used to talk about his wispy mustache.
I mean, it was terrible. It was like total peach fuzz, right? So Did Max Christie, as a first-round pick, who played a really good 1 year, I believe it was at Michigan State, as I recall.
Yes.
Did Max Christie contribute his first year?
No.
Okay. Then his second year, Max Christie was still skinny. He was still young. He was still immature. His game hadn't done much by way of development. Did Max Christie really contribute in his second year?
A tiny bit in blowouts and things of that nature, yes. But the tiny bit is what I'm saying, yes.
Then his third year came.
He became a good player for them before he got traded.
It took 2+ years of him practicing against grown men, of him traveling with the team, of him getting a small amount of playing time, and then ultimately Max Christie turned into a player that had value. So okay, that's good. That's what Max Christie became. Here's another example. The Lakers drafted that other kid. What was his name? Jalen Hood-Schifino?
Yeah, sorry, Mateo's waving a popsicle in my face.
I see Mateo walking back and forth behind you. Yeah. Hood-Schifino. Rookie year, did he do anything?
No.
Second year, did he do anything?
No.
Got traded.
He just played the other day in Philly.
Hell no.
Got traded pretty much right
Got
away.
waived by Utah and then picked up by Philly, yeah.
Well, how did he leave the Lakers? I don't recall.
Traded in the trade for Luka.
Okay,
He was
so
sent to Utah but waived.
Okay, so
and then Philly picked him up right away.
So never contributed to the Lakers and also was drafted by the Lakers.
Correct.
So look,
in the first round.
Right. Bronny is going to be with the Lakers. And if you're a fan, you should probably be hoping by the way, you guys do your own thing. But you should probably be hoping that he actually develops into a potential contributor. And for me, what I saw last night, it's the first time in his very young NBA career where I looked at him as a ball player last night and said, maybe he could become a contributor. Versus my opinion prior to last night was he's never going to be anything. He's just LeBron's kid.
Yeah.
So
you know what?
What's wrong with admitting that you could have been wrong?
Right. What's wrong with admitting that you should have listened to me from day one, that he'd be playing in the G League and then maybe he'd develop?
Hey, Mateo, take that
He left
popsicle
already.
and stick that thing in your father's ear.
Well, you'd have to take the headsets off.
Yeah,
first.
I mean, take the headset off and stick it in his ear like a wet willy with a nice popsicle. Looked like an orange popsicle. I love the orange
It's
popsicles.
orange and red.
It's
and
a little
yellow.
both.
So like a combination, like a trifecta there.
It's a nice combo piece that the kid's got.
Yeah.
And he's doing it before summertime, which is impressive.
Well, it's hot today.
Yeah, nice popsicle, Mateo.
Cappy, let's talk about Prize Picks, okay? And then let's actually get into the Lakers' schedule coming up, because beyond Chicago, things can get really interesting, and I'll explain
I'm pissed today, George.
I mean, it sounds like it. We should have racked you again. Prize Picks. Again, you want action in the state of California? Prize Picks is the place to be. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y. Your first $5 play gets you a $50 bonus. And it's really simple, guys, to play Prize Picks, okay? It's more or less. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a stat for every individual player, pretty much in every sport imaginable, including darts, okay? And you go more or less on that particular stat. So we were talking about Bronny, for example. Let's say his more or less number was 6.5. And you go more or less. And then you start bundling things together and players together, men's, women's sports, you name it, and you can win cold, hard cash, Cappy.
All right, so today's Flex Friday, so there's all kinds of deals to be had, especially with the tournament that's going on right now. You're going to want to play. Download the Prize Picks app, use the code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus. Now, George, one thing we don't talk about enough with Prize Picks is injury insurance. So if a player that you've picked winds up not playing, you're going to get essentially, I'm going to say it like this, essentially you're getting protected. Okay, so for example, last night I had a 5-pick flex play. It was $20 to win $100. Well, it turns out Austin Reeves didn't play. So I had 4 out of 5, and instead of winning $200, I won $100. So I was still a winner, not as big as I could have been because one of my guys didn't play, but they didn't penalize me. I still got rewarded. So good luck to everybody who's playing Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, run your game.
Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park.
Hey everybody, John Ireland here. Now is your chance to vote for the Lakers GOAT, the greatest Laker fan of all time. If you listen to the station, you know we've had this contest going on for a while. We got some fantastic entries. but only 4 people made it to the finals, and you can decide who is the Lakers GOAT. Go to that website, LakersGoat.com. The word Lakers, GFOAT.com. Voting going on now through March 24th. You'll decide who's the greatest Laker fan of all time.
Percent APR for up to 72 months on the Hyundai Santa Fe, Tucson, or Elantra. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end March 31st. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
I'm this weird part of my life. I really am.
Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years, a hilarious stand-up special, is now streaming on Hulu.
I am getting along with my wife better than I ever have. All you have to do is agree to something that you would never do. Farmer's market? Oh, boy, would I! My buddy dies. I show up to the funeral. Open casket. You told me he was dead. I believed you.
Bill Burr, Drop Dead Years, is now streaming on Hulu.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. And our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Our steamed vegetables and signature salads are made fresh for you. Our sauces are more flavorful for you, from sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
At Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, we believe you should love who you want to love. And during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you can lease a brand new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Premium all-wheel drive for just $329 per month for 36 months with $39.39 due at signing. Visit Ocean Subaru today.
With approved credit through Subaru Motors Finance, not all buyers or vehicles will qualify. Lease for 10,000 miles per year. VIN RH915476. MSRP $39.50 plus tax, tag, title, and doc fee. Zero security deposit. See dealer for complete details. Expires 3/31/2025.
Well, it's National Cocktail Day this week, or as I call it, every day at Morongo. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Lucky gift giveaway. Get a 3-quart ceramic saucepan when you earn 500 points on your rewards card, the 25th.
Number 2.
Fog Hat, live May 23rd.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a Cadillac Lyric. Earn entries now playing table games with your rewards card and be here at 10 p on the 30th to win.
Morongo, good times.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. That's the 90 minutes from wherever you are. Lindsay, when you're done, remind me to mention an idea I just came up with. But go ahead. Take it away, Lindsay.
You sound like Cappy. You got to write it down.
Yeah, write it down, George, before you forget it.
I'm tired today. I didn't get a great night's sleep.
I didn't either. I slept for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I woke up a bunch of times last night. It was brutal.
Stressing about my parlays.
Oh, really? Is that what you're stressing
He's
about?
now he's losing sleep at night. DeAndre, you gotta be careful.
You're not stressing over your fit for Mason's party?
Oh, that's already locked in.
Oh, laid out,
It's
too.
already
Ain't
laid
no
out.
fit for Mason's
Iron.
party, bro. I'm going in jeans and like a hoodie. What are you talking about?
No, not DeAndre. DeAndre don't roll like that.
He's all about the fit.
Yeah.
I'm all about the fit.
Jeans and a hoodie, huh?
Yeah, bro. You think I'm getting? Oh, we'll wear like a suit to Mason's party?
I thought you were going to wear a tux. I thought it was black tie.
No.
Oh, I thought it was formal. My bad.
You're B. Tell Rachel to bring you some new clothes.
I'm just gonna wear my sweats.
Yeah. I would totally. Michael's probably going to be in his sweats.
100%. I mean, he wore sweats to the Mandy's.
Right.
And that was a
Fair
formal
point.
event.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lynn. Sorry.
All right, so the next time you go to Dodger Stadium, you might not need your ticket to get in. You're just going to need your beautiful face.
Oh.
Because there's a new free facial authentication tool called Go Ahead Entry, and that's what the Dodgers are going to be going with starting this season.
There you go, Cappy. You just show up to the gate and be like, right here. This is my ticket.
So that's what they do at the Intuit Dome, and it's really weird. And the first thing I thought of as I was setting the app up, I was like, they just have all of our data. I mean, I know it's not like anyone, some people are just like, I don't care, what are they doing with it? But man, I'm not going to lie. My phone has been ringing off the hook, and I'm getting all kinds of scam texts, which were already...
Oh, no, I've been getting those forever. And by the way, Google is the biggest culprit of all of that. It's been happening for a decade or more.
But Microsoft and Google, they work together, and Steve Ballmer is Microsoft
cahoots?
guy. Yeah. Didn't he, wasn't he,
He was the CEO at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So let's say you go to a game and you do the facial recognition thing, right?
Yes.
But then you come back to a game, let's say 6 months later, and you've had a facelift. Or like if you're like George, where you've done a ton of Botox, right? So your face looks different. Can it tell the difference?
So mostly, from what I understand, based on your, have you ever tried to look at have your use your facial recognition on your phone?
For your phone.
Yeah,
right.
and you have, I don't know, for guys that you don't wear makeup, but if I have my eyelashes on, really thick fake eyelashes on, or when I have my glasses on. It takes me a bunch of times, and usually I just type in my code. So, I don't know. I think it, mainly recognizes the structure of your face because it's pretty advanced. The fact that you literally just walk in, I mean, it's kind of scary, but I don't know. I think it's weird, and eventually they're going to move to that being the only way that you can get it. I don't like it.
Well, I've been using this for a long time. It's not really where I have facial recognition technology. But I'll show up someplace and people will be like, you got your ID? I'm like, you're looking at it. Here I am. I'm in the house.
That's why I'm saying this is perfect for you.
Yeah. I'm excited about this.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Well, when people say to you,
Cappy says, I'm famous. Look, this is my ID right here.
Me out. I'm me. I'm him. I'm him.
Okay.
That's me.
That's you.
I'll just say there is a colleague I've worked with at ESPN who has actually used that line, and I only think he was half kidding.
That I'm him?
Can you give us a
they
clue?
did the whole thing of at an event, at a game, and was they were like, can I see your credential? And he's like, right here.
You're looking at it, baby. You are
Wait,
looking at
I want to know who did this.
No, I will never reveal.
Who was it?
Can you give us a clue?
Nope.
Not even a 50-50 clue that'll eliminate half of the
No,
audience?
and
or
think
half the
about it. I've
people?
worked with a lot of people over 12 years. So
Well, you won't even say male or female.
Nope.
Black or white?
Nope.
Tall or short?
Nope.
Young or old?
Nope.
Were they young or old when they did this in front of you?
Nope.
Still work at ESPN?
I'll give you that one, yes.
Oh, I know who it is.
Right. Okay, me too. I got it.
I know who it
You
is.
have no idea who it is.
I do.
There's 1,200 people that had talent.
I have
that
a
work
good
at
idea.
ESPN.
I'm going to name them all, too, until you tell me which one it is.
Anyway, so here's what I was thinking, my idea. Cappy, Lindsay, DeAndre, I want to know what you guys think about this.
All right, hit us.
So we just did we broke one time, right? And then we went to break again just recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should do, and I would love the audience's opinion on this. Feel free to take. I will open up the phones on this, even if we have to.
Oh man, I had to screen so many calls already today.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I don't normally. I wouldn't have. I didn't listen, so I didn't know you did. But right. So my thing is this: would the audience be okay if you and I, Cappy, did the show in half-hour intervals? Included our live reads, right, every 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is that we normally do them, and then only play commercials after 25 or 30 minutes of content.
So you don't have to open the phone, George. No need to do that. The answer is 100% yes.
I like that idea.
Because, listen, think about last week.
Or whatever it is. Let's say we have, in a half-hour span, let's say we have 7.5 minutes of commercials. We would go 23 minutes or 22 and a half minutes and then play the commercials. And then we'd come back. and we'd do 20 whatever minutes again, and then we'd play the commercials. I actually feel like that would be more fun for me, at least at this stage.
Well,
because it's very similar to like a podcast,
right? Long
in a lot of ways, and
Yeah.
I think people have become more prone to listening to those anyway.
Well, think about last week. Was it Friday of last week? Or
Now,
was
I'm
it...
not suggesting this for every show. I'm just suggesting this for Sedano and Cap.
Okay. All right, hold on a second.
Because here's what's going to happen, Cappy. We do stuff. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
We do stuff, and everybody wants to rip us off.
Right. Right.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go. What day was it last week?
Can I talk? It's my show.
Where we did 3 to 3:30 commercial free, and then we did 4 to 4:30 commercial free.
3 times we did it.
And then we did 5 to 5:30 commercial free. What
we did
day?
with Tony Khan. It was Thursday.
Okay.
We had Tony Khan in, and then we had.
It was somebody
No,
else.
it wasn't. It was a day you and I were both in studio.
Yeah, it was.
so
Wendy was here, right?
It was the day Windhorse was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. My point is this: is that going 30 minutes commercial free, like we do at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, is what we should do every hour. You're exactly right. We should go a 30-minute block on, have our break, and do the live reads within the block. Then take the commercial break so that the recorded ads can run. Then come back and do another 30.
No. What I'm suggesting is actually do 20 some odd minutes. Like, we could still do the 30 minutes at 5, but I'm saying we only do 2 segments an hour.
I like what you're saying.
We basically do that anyway a lot of
but
time.
what I'm saying is that's the block, George. The block is the 23 minutes on air and call it the 7 minutes of spots.
And of commercials, right? And then do 23 more, and then and then we just do the whatever we do the 30. We do it, give me an extra 7 minutes at 5.
Well, let me ask you this question,
because I would much rather do that,
Okay.
and I just don't know if the audience would.
I'm answering for the audience. The answer is yes. Here's the question you have to ask yourself. You ready?
Yeah.
How are you going to propose this to the boss? And when
I
say
think
the
I just
boss-
did, I feel like.
When I say the boss, I mean Bergie. Because, Bergie's now running this side of the building, if you will.
Is he?
Kinda.
I mean, I feel like there's a collaboration of many people involved.
Okay. Well,
I'm not saying he's not one of them, but I don't believe he does anything unilaterally other than tell you that you can't be on the Lakers distribution
that
email
was
list.
that was a unilateral decision.
Correct.
And I didn't agree with it.
But I feel like everything else, even he would admit, is a collaboration.
Okay, so now you got to go to Bergie and you got to run this by him. And here's my suggestion. Tonight, once him and Mean Gene
Get a few cocktails in
start hitting the Jaeger bombs,
Yeah.
that's when you go after him. And you go, Bergie, I have an idea. And then on Monday, you tell him, hey, we're changing the clock because you agreed to it at Mason's party. And he says, well, I don't remember that. And I go, yeah, because it was 3 Jaeger bombs in.
Right.
So I say that you hit him up with it tonight, and then on Monday you remind him that he agreed with you, even if he didn't.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know the difference because he's Jaeger bombed out.
Yeah, I would rather do that, and I would just be genuinely curious to see if the audience would prefer to do
I
that.
think we should just do it and then wait to see how long it takes them to figure it out.
No, I don't think we should just do it, because I think that would also be a little disrespectful.
Well, if they don't know, then it means they're not listening.
Well, you're not paying attention. I guess that's fair.
Well, George, I can tell you this right
but now that I've already said it, it's probably not worth doing it.
I love
way.
the idea.
So do I. But I'll tell you this right now, George. If you want to start doing it, we can do it because there's me, DeAndre, Lindsay. I can see Parker, and I don't know who else is in the back.
Jex. Anthony Jackson's back there.
okay.
Jonathan's back there.
Oh, yeah, Jonathan Martin's back there. Okay, good. So these young fellas are here. And, George, 1, 2, 3, there's 6 of us, all right?
Raise your hands. Let's take a vote.
We are the only 6 people in this place today.
Literally.
I'm telling you, George, you could walk around this place. It's a ghost town. And I realize usually on Fridays this place can be kind of empty. But given the Mason birthday party tonight, everybody's out of here. You know what we should have done?
Why don't you just call Chris?
That's a good idea. You know what we
Ask
should-
him what he thinks.
You know what we should have done? You know where we really screwed up today?
You know what he's going to do? He's going to take a swipe.
We
at
should
you,
have done our show live from Mason's house.
Correct. That's exactly what we should have done.
He
because
would've
that's
never-
exactly what I'm sure he would have wanted.
He never would have had it. We could have done it right out in his front lawn.
We should have done the broadcast from
We should've.
Mason's house today.
We should have.
Does he have a dartboard?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Why do you ask?
I'm just saying we could have plugged in there.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
You got us, George. You got us.
Hey, now.
Bring a
anyway.
bucket and a mop.
I don't know if there's if we're taking calls or not on this idea, but I'd love to hear the audience's thoughts on it. Anyway, let me get to the Lakers real quick.
You mean you don't want to break right now?
Oh, I guess we're supposed to, right?
I say we don't do it.
Don't do it, George.
We don't have a live read until 4:27.
Don't
Keep
do
going.
it, George.
Double up.
Come
We're
on.
doubling up.
How long would the commercial break be if we doubled up the end?
35 minutes.
Second.
I think it'll
No,
be
let DeAndre add, and then I'll make a decision. How about that? Like
All right.
I'll make a.
DeAndre,
And then-
you need a calculator? Or are you good, man?
And then
5 minutes.
and then
So-
I'll
oh,
take
yeah.
the heat for it.
Yeah,
How
it's
long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, then let's keep
We're
going.
going to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Light spot load on a Friday. So there you go. All right, Cappy, let's talk about this Lakers schedule then.
All right, let's talk about
Lindsay, see if anyone's interested in having a conversation about this stuff at 877-710 ESPN about like the format change that we're proposing for this show only. So don't get it twisted over there at Travis and DeMarco and Mason and Iron. Okay?
Oh, my God.
I'll let you know as soon as people call.
Yeah. So Chicago, I'm not worried about Chicago, Cappy. But then the Lakers hit the road. And let's be honest, as great as the Lakers have been at home, not so great on the road. Okay.
You have any? Because I don't know. Because yesterday I was talking about the home record. Do you know what the road record is off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's like 15. And let me do the math. And 18.
Okay. All right. So a little less than 500. Okay.
Wait. I have to interrupt you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you had an idea, George.
This was the idea.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
What?
Yeah.
I just looked at my notepad and it says idea.
Right. The idea was that we go longer and
I
we
know.
don't break as often.
I get that now, but I just wanted to make sure that that was the right idea.
Okay. So you were wondering if he had another idea.
Correct.
Got it.
No, that was the idea.
We get sidetracked really easily here.
Mm-hmm. A lot of ADD on this team.
For sure.
So, Cappy, Bulls, as I mentioned, no big deal. Then they go on the road starting Monday at Orlando.
Okay. Orlando
So-
full strength or not?
Orlando is, I believe, well, they don't have Jalen Suggs. He's done for the year. But everyone else is playing.
Okay.
And here's what I will tell you about Orlando. Even without Jalen Suggs, who's one of the better perimeter defenders in the sport, they play hard, okay? Like, they defend really well. You got to earn a win against them, okay? I'm not saying that the Lakers can't win that game. But, yeah, like, they struggle offensively because they really only have two guys that put it in the basket with frequency, like with a real level of consistency. But they defend at a really high level.
Let me
okay?
just
and
let me call it 20 on this and ask you, because so you're talking about traveling to Orlando for a Monday game the day after you play Chicago here.
well, no, they have a day off. They have Sunday,
Right.
but yeah, they got to fly Sunday, right?
So LeBron, you know, I've seen a lot of the videos of LeBron working out, and he looks good. Like, he doesn't look like a guy who's dealing with a groin problem. And that's just me watching videos of him doing these incredible laps that he's doing around the court, where he's flying up the court and he gets to the paint, they throw him the pass, he puts it down, turns around, comes back the other way, and he's making these laps. LeBron, to me, looks like he's ready. Do you suspect that LeBron will be playing in Orlando? Because I'm starting to think that he might play against Chicago on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what McMiniman told us, that he would play Chicago in Chicago.
Right. I'm saying to you that I'm starting to, this is a gut feel, not, LeBron didn't call me today to tell me thanks for sticking up for Bronny. But my gut is there's a chance, perhaps, looking at his workouts, that maybe he says, hey, I'll come back, I'll play against Chicago at home, and then I'll go on the road.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that sense.
Okay, let's keep going.
So anyway, Orlando is a tough team. I mean, I was just there last week in Cleveland, where they beat Lindsay's Cavs after a 16-game winning streak. They snapped their 16-game win streak. And they are the number 2 defensive team in the sport, Cappy, trailing only Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So they're good. That's not like a cupcake game, okay? On the road, where you're probably going to be, you're still going to have some injury issues to deal with, and you're not necessarily a great road team, okay? So you got Orlando, right? Then at Indiana, you know, they're playing pretty well. I know you smoked them without LeBron and Luka a while back, you know, about a month or so ago. But now you're going to their place. And again, they're playing good. They're playing good basketball right now. At Chicago, I mean, Chicago's just not a good team, so you should win that game. And then at Memphis, who you've had their number, but now you're playing them there, okay? They know you've had their number. They want to kick your ass. I mean, they hate the Lakers. There's no question about it.
And they're right there in the standings. I mean, that actually is, besides
a meaningful game.
Correct. It's a very important game for both teams.
Right. So what I would say is, this is a interesting time for the Lakers to go on the road, because, you know, they're not at full strength. They've struggled even when at full strength on the road. And they're playing, while not the elite level Eastern Conference teams, still Eastern Conference teams that are not pushovers by any stretch of the imagination. So, and then they have to go to Memphis after that, to your point. So I think that this is a very important road trip for the Lakers in the sense of just jockeying for position in the standings.
Mm-hmm. Let me call, like I said, a quick 20 here, okay?
Because, by the way, here's another thing. One more thing, sorry. You're only 2.5 on Golden State for the final playoff spot. That's like the margin of error has shrunk a little bit in regards to that, too. I'm not saying they're going to be the 7 seed or whatever, but, like, you know, if let's just say you drop to the 6. Let's say, for some reason, you do drop to the 6. Then you got Denver in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't want that. Like, you gotta. These are important games for all those reasons.
All right. Let me, again, make a left turn here for just a quick second. So you wanted calls to find out if listeners thought that the longer segments...
They want if they want our 20-some-odd minutes in a row, then go to break, and basically 2 segments an hour.
All right. Let me go to Roy here, who's
Roy.
chiming in. Roy, what do you say,
What
man?
up, Cap?
Yo, yo, yo.
I think it's a great idea, my boy. I think that you guys always get into it, and then you got to stop, and it gets frustrating. We got to hear commercial, and I don't want you to lose your vibe. You guys got a good vibe going on at that time. We could wait in the long commercial break after that, but even more importantly, I know exactly it's Keyshawn Johnson Sedano's talking about who walked in.
No, it was not. Actually, no, it was not. No, it's not.
Tell him, Roy. Tell him, Roy.
Not in front of me.
You said that he did that at the USC game on the sidelines, and they were trying to ask about him too.
No, that was not me.
Tell him, Roy.
I've never said that.
It was George who said that, Roy.
It was you. I'm going to put my cappy on it. It was you, and you said that Keyshawn said, everybody should know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't need no ID. I don't need no credentials.
Right.
No, Keyshawn said that. I did not say that.
Oh, I remember you saying
Yeah,
that.
Keyshawn said it.
Oh.
No, right. That's different. This is me witnessing someone do it. That would be different because he said that on the air with all of us there. No, it's not him.
So when you're on the break, we lose this vibe. You guys got to keep running, make an executive decision. You guys decide. We all love the show. So if you guys are all in agreement, you got to run it through. Take the long break after, guys.
All right. Thank you, Roy.
Roy. We got to lock in, George. We got to lock in for 20,
Are there more people?
23 and a half minutes. No. We didn't give out the phone number. 877, whatever it is. You know?
877, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, we don't actually give it out very often.
Right.
So.
That's why
is it
people
877-710 ESPN?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. 877-710-3776.
Nicely done. So, yeah, when you give out the phone number, all of a sudden the phones light up. By the way, speaking of phones, side note here.
Hashtag.
Last night, I'm listening to Beto Duran.
Oh, did you hear Flea call in?
I heard it.
Yes, I can't believe you didn't say you had FOMO.
No, so here's no FOMO for me. I'm super stoked because what Beto did is because I texted Beto and I texted Funchy when this was going on. I'm like, guys, this is awesome.
Wait, I want to know from Funchy how much he screened Flea.
Not very much. It didn't seem like because it seemed like what happened was Flea called. And I was listening to all this live, and Funchy was like, dude, we got to go. We got to call. We got to take this call right now. It's the first time he's calling in. We got somebody we got to take. And Beto was like, oh, great. Flea is calling in. And I'm a huge Flea fan. I'm a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. So I was so stoked to hear Flea call in, not like, hey, I'm some celebrity who goes to all the Laker games and sits courtside and check out my cool Gucci jacket that I was wearing tonight. It was more like he was just a caller. Like, he had questions about, like, injuries and other teams, and it was awesome. So I was texting Beto, and I was texting Funchy, this is great, I love this, I'm a huge Flea fan. And as Beto said, as I always say, everybody's listening.
Yes.
And now, based on your idea, everybody can listen longer.
Right, in longer stretches, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Funchy's like, hey, better, we got to go to this call. We got to go to this call. Hey, we got an important call right now, man. You got to take this right now. You got to take this right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He sure did, boy. I'll tell you that. He sure did.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I didn't know, but I saw it on social media today, so I thought that was pretty awesome.
I wish that he would have called during our show, so then we could have asked him about the time that he had like some kind of weird bathroom tweet, and Cappy like replied to it.
Well,
remember that?
You could also talk to him about. I could have invited him to Mason's party tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Star-studded event.
Also, when I walk around the court before the game, and I know I put a video out the other day. I put it on Facebook, Instagram. I don't think I put it on Twitter.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's important to mention Facebook, George, because I haven't been on Facebook.
Nobody's
on
Facebook anymore.
Nah, I don't know about that. I'm not so sure about that. I think a lot more people are on Facebook than we realize. Nonetheless, I put out a video the other day of how I make my pregame lap, because I usually like to stop and say hi to Flea because he's a listener. So I was super stoked to hear him on the station last night. So Flea, I don't know if you got anything going on tonight, but we got Mason's birthday party in Venice. Just text me and we'll go.
Yeah. Cappy, you know what I'm stoked about? You telling us about Real Father's Rights.
You want to hear about that?
Sure.
All right, I would love to. Real Father's Rights. Hey, guys, if you are a dad and you are feeling sidelined in your child's life, I'm going to tell you right now something you already likely know. Dads are essential to a child's well-being, but the legal system so often unfairly favors mothers in custody disputes. Real Father's Rights, we are here to help you fight for your rights. We're fighting for dads. We're scoring for kids. We're going to make it a level playing field, because if you are a dad and you are being shut out of your kid's life, let's get you the justice you deserve. The Father's Rights attorneys, Mark Real Father's Rights, helping dads navigate family court. It could be child custody, child support, divorce, domestic violence, restraining orders, whatever the case may be, we are here to help. And wherever you are, LA, OC, IESD, anywhere in Southern California, we are here to help. Here's our dedicated phone line for ESPN LA listeners, 833-ESPN 710, 833-ESPN 710, and our dedicated website, again, just for ESPN LA visitors, RFR, like Real Father's Rights, RFR710.com. Now, George, at this point, would you like to hit the break, or do you want to stay on here now, based on your idea? I guess the answer is hit the break.
Tomorrow is a Madness Saturday at ESPN LA. Tip it off at 11:30 a.m. from the Galen Center. The top seed USC women's basketball team gets the madness in the tourney underway against 16 seed UNC Greensboro on 7:10 a.m.
Guys, George Sedano here with Dr. Amatruda here at CHLA. And, of course, you specialize in children's cancer research. And what can you tell us about all the technological advances that have been made in regards to cancer research for children?
Sure, George. Thanks for the question. You know, it's a really exciting time in treating children with cancer. Our treatments are getting better than ever before. Currently, we can cure more than 3/4 of kids with cancer. We want to do even better. So how do we make up that difference? Well, one way is trying new ideas, and a couple of them are new ways to deliver medicines that are more specific or targeted to the tumor cells. Maybe we can do less off-tumor side effects. The other big one is training the patient's immune system to tackle cancer. And this is a really exciting advance. Imagine taking a patient's own immune cells and teaching them to attack the cancer cells, giving them back. This has proved to be incredibly effective for leukemias, the blood cancer in children, but now we got to make it work in all types of cancers, and that's the research we're doing right now.
Well, you guys are the leaders, certainly, in cancer research for children here in the western part of the United States, and we thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you very much.
I'm Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
With over 30 years in the business and more than 20,000 real estate transactions, Seller's Advantage offers a much better buying experience.
We don't charge agent fees, you pay no commissions, and you make no repairs. Seller's Advantage will show you a no obligation as-is cash offer and can close in just a few days.
Just check out our Google reviews and see for yourself.
Call Seller's Advantage today or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or at CardinAlleyWayHyundai.com. On approved credit, 0 security deposit. 72 payments of $15.19 per $1,000 financed. Expires 03/31/2025.
Hey, it's producer Lindsay, and you know I'm a huge wrestling fan. Join Cappy, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and me to watch Monday Night Raw on April 7th at Hollywood Park Casino, LA's premier card room. We'll have ticket giveaways and a grand prize of 2 tickets to the Ultimate Wrestling event on April 19th in Las Vegas. Your attendance is your raffle entry. Plus, get a bonus entry when you RSVP at ESPNLA.com. But you must be present to win. See you Monday, April 7th at Hollywood Park Casino. Visit ESPNLA.com for details.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
It's spring in the Southland, and the season of adventure is here. So why not hit the road in a brand new Kia from Kia of Carson? Whether you want a sleek sedan, a spacious SUV, or the latest hybrid or EV, Kia of Carson has the perfect ride for you. As one of the largest Kia dealerships in the country, we have all the latest tech-savvy vehicles that make the season of adventure more exciting. And Kia of Carson makes car buying easy, fun, and unforgettable. But don't wait. Our spring sales event is happening now. Hurry in today or shop online at KiaofCarson.com. Kia of Carson. Let's get you on the road.
Hey, Southern California, I'm Ty Pennington, the home guy, teaming up with Pechanga Resort Casino to give away a brand new house. Imagine yourself in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home in incredible Temecula, California. All you need to do is play your favorite slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino. The more you play, the more entries you earn. Visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for complete details on Home Sweet Win.
Rules and conditions apply. Go to Pechanga.com for more details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Sedano and Kap on 710.
I'm a cocky son of a like, there's no question about that.
Sedano and Kap continues right now.
Oh, I love the Muppets. Is it like an anniversary for them?
I don't know, but I used to watch the Muppets like every week. Like,
Muppets Most Wanted premiered in theaters in 2014. Is that the most recent movie?
Muppets Most
I think
Wanted.
it is actually the most recent one. I think it is.
Don't recall seeing that.
No, they had the one with who's the guy that's in Shrinking? With Harrison Ford. Yeah, the TV show on Apple. Anyway, he sings Am I a Man or a Muppet?
No.
It's really good.
Okay.
By the way,
Good movie.
Side note.
Yeah.
The person I was referring to that said, "This is my credential," and like doing a circle around their face.
Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Yeah.
Texted me.
When?
Just a few moments ago.
Well, now they know.
And it had nothing unrelated to what we were talking about.
Who was it?
And for a second, I'm like, is this person listening?
Everybody does, as you know.
Yeah, but it was not. It was a work-related question, and I thought that was hilarious that happened that way. But I still won't tell you who it is.
I'm going to take a guess.
You've narrowed it down a little.
Yeah, right. Like, see, now here's
I
what
narrowed
I think.
down to somebody who texts me?
Yeah, because you said it was a work question. So here's what I think now. Now I think it's somebody who covers the NBA, you know? So now now that we kind of put it into
This
that
person
NBA
does a
sphere,
lot, not just doesn't. I mean, this person does have some involvement in the NBA, but I wouldn't say they're like someone who covers the NBA per se.
So it's
like
not
that's
windy.
what they do.
Okay. Is this person on air?
Is the person on air? Yes, this
Okay.
person's on air, and that'll be it.
Okay. Person a Sports Center anchor?
I just told you that'll be it.
I
Like,
know,
you
but
can't
I'm going to
ask me any more
still
questions.
pry.
You can't ask him any more questions.
Hope to get you to trip up a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Linz. Take it away.
All right. So, let me flip my page here. Okay. Rick Pitino's second season at St. John's saw him lead the team to a 30-4 record and a victory in the Big East tournament before he pledged to drink a quart of Jameson to celebrate that win. And now he has some extra incentive to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament because Jameson, the brand, has offered to send him his own barrel if he can make it to the Elite Eight.
Oh, thanks a lot, guys.
Exactly. So, what would you guys celebrate with and hope to get a ton of for free in this situation?
Oh my God.
What would I celebrate with?
Yeah, like, you know, you got like a
Oh.
wine or
I mean,
some
I'd want like a
cannabis.
case of like really nice wine. Yeah, that's what I would want.
I think I'd probably maybe be more into the world of tequila.
Okay.
You know, like, I mean, I don't need to drink. Did you say a quart?
A barrel.
No. How
he
much
drank.
did he drink?
He said that, well, he pledged to drink a quart.
Okay, what's a quart? Is that a full bottle?
I think
or-
so.
Oh.
A full bottle.
Jameson. Ooh,
Yeah, but
not
that's
good.
his drink, you know?
Jameson's kind of for me on that list of I'm going to throw up.
That's hard stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I will throw up, you know? Like I mentioned Jaeger bombs earlier. I will never.
Yeah, but that's gross.
I will never touch Jägermeister. Never.
Yeah, that's gross.
I'm getting like nauseated thinking about Jaeger.
I would never touch that.
Never.
No, because when I was in college, I drank it one time. Of course, I had a big throwing up scene, and then now it's got like a deer on the thing on the label, and then it's like thick and bloody. Like I think I'm drinking like deer blood, you know. So I'm not doing that. I'm not going near it.
Right.
So a little tequila, perhaps.
DeAndre, what about you?
I think I would want like a lifetime supply of Gatorade. I drink a lot of Gatorade.
Oh, Gatorade.
Oh, I do
That's
drink
a
a
good
lot of
one.
Gatorade
I
too.
would like
Do you go
to-
Gatorade Zero?
I do. I actually started to do Gatorade Zero now.
I like
Yeah,
Gatorade Zero,
It's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that low sodium?
Low sodium.
Oh,
No,
yeah?
low sodium, no carbs, no calories.
I'm very sodium conscious all of a sudden now that Morales
Yeah, with Chris.
almost died. Yeah.
Well, you know that sodium's actually good if you don't have elevated blood pressure because it provides electrolytes. And remember, Chris was always big on electrolytes, so maybe he had too many electrolytes.
Well, I think he was too worried about his diaphragm, his birth control
That's right.
device.
That's right.
Yeah.
DeAndre, you got the next one.
Although DeAndre, you know what I like too? I've been drinking Body Armor as an electrolyte
okay.
replacement. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
I used to be on Propel. I mean,
I liked Propel back
was
in the
pretty
day.
good.
Propel's okay,
Yeah.
but Body Armor is I would love an endorsement with Body Armor if we can do that because I've actually been drinking a ton of it, and I've noticed that when I'm in these locker rooms, Body Armor is pretty prevalent.
I think they're on my Pepsi now.
I have a really good friend of mine who is the Body Armor guy. Right
Well,
here
Cappy,
in LA.
there you go.
No, I got
Sedano and Cap brought to you by Body Armor.
I got the guy right here in LA. My boy, shout out to my boy Ken Ramirez, who, by the way, his phone's about to blow up because his name just got said all over 710. But
Yeah.
shout out to my boy Kenny Ramirez.
Shout out Kenny.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Lynn. Sorry.
DeAndre.
Oh, so for me, wine. It would be wine. It would be like a nice case of wine.
What are you bringing tonight?
I'm just bringing I think Michael's bringing a bottle of Camus. I will bring another Cabernet.
Oh, how lovely.
By the way, it's Coca-Cola that owns Body Armor
Yes.
Oh, there you go. I am. What is there a specific kind you like, Cappy? Would you like a Napa Cab?
I'm.
Would you like to try some of them? I mean, it's up to you.
I'm more of like an Oregon Pinot type.
I don't have any Oregon Pinots on hand.
Well, stop and buy some.
Yeah. I was gonna. I wasn't gonna go. Remember I'm Ubering,
Oh,
so
right,
I'm not
All right,
driving.
so bring a Napa Cab. That's fine.
Okay.
Bring a Napa.
You don't
Cab.
know anything about an Oregon Pinot anyway.
One day I'm going to have you come down to me, We're going to go have lunch, and I'm going to introduce you to my guys. They're known as the Lunch Bunch.
The Lunch Bunch.
They meet every Friday at noon.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of older guys. Everybody brings very, very expensive red wine. They decant all the bottles on the table, and they sit there for hours drinking all of this great red wine and talking about wine. I spent many, many years in this group. I don't have the time to do it quite anymore.
Yeah, but that's fine that you were there. But do you actually know what a good Oregon Pinot is?
I'm lucky enough to say that I've
Oregon
been around.
Pinots, by the way, are not most of them are not very expensive, to be honest with you. They're actually very affordable wines.
Right, but that's where the Pinot Noir is really, I guess, best grown. Nonetheless.
Correct, yes, in Willamette Valley. Yes.
I'm going to invite you to come down one day, and I want you to sit with all these old-timers and enjoy I'm literally the ridiculous amount of wine that gets drank and the amount of money that it all costs. And and then you'll learn a little bit.
I will, I'm sure, from them, yes.
All I ask if I can get like a little sip. I mean, I know I'm barely, my wine, palate is still, on the upcoming. But
you gotta learn everything. You gotta learn how to swirl it in the glass. You gotta learn how to smell it. You gotta learn how to swoosh it around your mouth a little bit. And sometimes
do they really do? Is that like a real?
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
I got this one buddy of mine. His name is.
You want all the
Bertrand.
taste buds to get it,
Right.
Yeah.
My one buddy Bertrand. He's this French guy. He talks like this. He goes, "Hello, baby. How are you? Hello, darling." And you walk into his restaurant. He goes, "Oh, please have the lobster salad." And so this is the way this guy talks. And what he does is he sits at the bar all day. He smells it. He puts it in his mouth, and then he spits it out. He doesn't actually
get drunk.
Right, he doesn't drink it. He just tastes it. It's kind of like smoking a cigar. You don't inhale it. You blow it out,
By the way, speaking of not knowing things, DeAndre, can you guys believe that he never heard of Ramit and he asked if it was real?
Oh, yeah, the song Ramit?
Yes.
You had the Eric Dickerson. You saw the video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
You said this cannot be real. This got to be AI generated.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's for real.
That's crazy that you've never heard that or seen that.
People in the comment section on there are like, this got to be AI.
No, it's for real.
That's
all right, let's keep rolling here.
All right, so me and Parker, we have a friend that we play with in our men's league. And let's just say that he's starting to turn more into a coach rather than, just being a player on our team, to the point where after our games, he would send us film and break down.
That's ridiculous.
He would break down pretty much like, hey, like this next time on his defensive assignment, we should do this. And offensively, he will go through and send us clips of what we can do better offensively to improve, our men's league team.
Mm-hmm.
And, at a certain point, we're like, okay, yeah, cool. And, we utilize this film, obviously, for our own selves and all that.
He's sending you cut-ups?
Oh, yes. He was legit sending me and Parker and everyone else along on our team cut-ups of our men's league, basketball game.
Who's shooting the video?
There was a friend that was shooting for him.
Okay.
So my question to you guys is:
now he's playing on the team too.
Yes, he was legit playing on the team. So he had one of his friends legit recording our game for us.
Both angles, both behind the basket and on the sideline.
Oh no, like he has like his friend would have like the whole tripod.
No. Time out. Parker said it's his mom that records.
It was his mom this whole time.
His mom is recording it. How old is this guy?
How old is? Oh, he's our age. Okay, yeah, he was our age.
Okay. He's like 25.
Okay, so his mom would legit have. His mom. I didn't know this whole time that she would legit have a tripod.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that you can move from left to right and all that.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is: I never seen anyone legit go in for a men's league or any recreational sport and having film and breaking down and telling us, hey. So my question to you guys is: do you know someone who takes recreational sports too seriously?
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I've seen plenty of it, let's just say. Yes.
So, first of all, you say he's taking it too seriously. I mean, is there millions of dollars to be won at the end of this season?
So you want to know what the grand prize is when you win in our men's league tournament? You get a T-shirt.
A T-shirt?
He really wants that T-shirt.
Really? Hey, that's a great T-shirt. Soft, comfy. It's funny, though, because, I'll bet you that this guy, if his mom is videotaping your men's rec games, his mom was doing the same thing in high school.
Probably.
She was, and in junior high school even before that. And while on one hand, it's a little offensive, who died and made you the coach? On the other hand, if you're a coachable person, you're like, hey, I didn't know that I was doing that. Or, hey, I didn't know my feet were like that. So this is actually really valuable video. Thanks a lot, bro.
See, I could see doing that with younger kids because, for example, when you play baseball, one of the biggest, hardest habits to break, Cap, and you'll remember this because you coach Little League, one of the hardest habits to break as kids get older is they naturally, when they swing, they drop their hands and then swing instead of swinging from the shoulder. And if you have like video and you can, nowadays with technology, it's so much easier. You can literally show a kid, hey, look, you're dropping your hands. Remember, swing from your shoulder. And like you can reinforce stuff. But yeah, when you're 25 years old playing in a rec league, I feel like that's a little different than trying to teach a kid how to swing a baseball
Okay,
bat.
but let me give you another perspective. You ready? So like my son's 24, and he's really, really, really into golf. And
But golf is incredibly technical.
Okay, so
that is different.
We go to the driving range, and he hits a bad ball. And I go, let me videotape you so I can show you kind of what you're doing here, And videotaping somebody hitting a golf ball or swinging a golf club can be incredibly helpful. So I don't know, DeAndre, are you offended by this guy shooting video and like trying to coach you guys?
I'm not offended at all. I'm just saying that it's a men's league basketball turn.
It's a little more. It's not as serious.
Yeah, it's not serious. I just
this guy cares. This guy cares, and his mom cares.
Trust me, you should see.
He wants it.
You should see the group message.
Really? What's he say?
Oh, he's like he legit will go in and be like, "Hey, this team are playing against next week."
Scouting report.
Whole scouting report. Hey, this guy, their point guard, he's averaging about 15 points, gets about 5 assists. He's like, this guy, we don't need to close out on him. He's not really a shooter. This guy's their best defender.
What's the record of the team, DeAndre?
Oh, I'm not on that team. I'm no longer playing with that team.
Okay.
But when
are they
I was,
good?
is
all this advanced scouting, is all this film study helping?
So when we were playing, we were probably won 3-4 games. Like we weren't that good.
Oh damn!
So you needed the coaching.
And the advanced scouting. And the film study.
Did, right?
That's why you guys sucked, because you guys didn't study film.
Exactly. All the other teams were studying.
It's a men's league basketball.
So wait, so you
should have
just want to
studied
go,
film, DeAndre.
So you want to just go for the run. You don't really care about the advanced scouting. You don't want to know about the other team, and winning is not priority for you, right?
Whoa. Hold on.
Damn, dog. You went a little too far there.
Winning, I do like to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm competitive, especially when you bring it out of me. There's a certain limit that I get to. You know what I mean?
All right.
But for a men's league, I'm not going to go on the next day and be like, damn, I got to do this better and that. No, hey, look, man, I played bad or I played good. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go play overseas somewhere or anything like that.
Why not?
Because that's not my goal in life anymore.
He wants to be here with you. Why are you trying to kick him out?
No. He wants to be a pro wrestler.
No, he wants to be a practice player with the Sparks.
I could do that.
Well, although what's the tall blonde? What's her name?
Cameron Brink.
Cameron Brink, who thinks that he's icky. She's like, all these guys. She's like, I hope all these guys are gay. That's what she said. She goes, I don't want. They're all a bunch of weirdos. They're all like sending me messages. They're all saying.
Well, the guys that are sending her messages are kind of creepy.
Yeah,
yes,
they're
I
creeps.
would agree.
That's right. She's like, that's why I hope they're all gay.
All right, that's Radio
you can't
Tinder.
Do it, DeAndre, you can't play. You can't practice with the Sparks. You're too hetero.
DeAndre going in the ball though. What? He ain't trying to be. He's got a lady. You know what I'm saying?
I do got a lady.
We're gonna all spend some time with her tonight too at Mason's party.
That's right.
There you go.
And by the way, update. My lady has made it onto the train.
Okay, fair enough. There we go.
Absolutely thought she was going to bail on me.
Yeah. All right, Cappy. We got an update in the NFL that'll be interesting that you and I've discussed numerous times already. That I guess there's something more recent here over the last day or so that we want to get to. Let's stick around for that. 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody. John Ireland here. Now is your chance to vote for the Lakers GOAT, the greatest Laker fan of all time. If you listen to the station, you know we've had this contest going on for a while. We got some fantastic entries, but only 4 people made it to the finals, and you can decide who is the Lakers GOAT. Go to that website, LakersGoat.com. The word Lakers, GFOAT.com. Voting going on now through March 24th. You'll decide who's the greatest Laker fan of all time.
Only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
It's the LA Afternoon Takeover on 710 ESPN.
Man, I hate when my brain is right and my heart is wrong.
It was so close to having your brain wrong and your heart right,
No,
too.
it would have been so much fun if that were the case.
More Sedano and Kap right now.
Lean on me, Cappy.
I actually do need to lean on you right now, as a matter of fact. Let me tell you what's going on here in the studio today, George. So Lindsay, me, and DeAndre were all like, yo, I'm starving. Let's get some food. So Lindsay's like, here's what's going to happen. We're going to spend...
I'm going to have some Hawaiian barbecue a little later.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay's like, here's what's going to happen, guys. We're going to spend the next 3 hours trying to figure out what we want, and we're going to wind up not getting anything. So here we are. We're an hour and 49 minutes into today's broadcast with 1 hour and 10 minutes to go. And now we've made up the decision that we pretty much are not going to be able to get food between now and the end of the show. And then secondarily, if we did get food now, then by the time we got to Mason's party, no one's going to be hungry. And then I was told, you ready for this?
Yeah, but do you expect Mason to really have food?
Well, listen to this. So I've been told now that Mason is having donuts.
Yeah, there's never... I remember the last time I went to one of Mason's parties, it was just like pizza.
Yeah, so in this case, though, pizza's fine. This is a donut party, apparently. Okay?
Donut party.
So here's what we're thinking about, and let me get your opinion on this. What if we all chip in right now and we order like 500 cheeseburgers to Mason's party? Like or 200 like In-N-Out burgers to Mason's party. That would be the hit of the party, and everybody would remember it, and everybody would think it was bomb. What do you think?
I mean, if he's okay with it, it's his house, bro.
I know, but let's not tell him. You don't feel comfortable with that, do you?
I mean, that's on you, bro. That's not sticking to me, that's for sure.
No, it's sort of half on you.
It's not like he has to clean up anything or do anything.
It is. We need your money.
No.
What do you
I ain't doing it. If he's not cool with it, I'm not doing it.
Well, what if he is cool with it?
It's his house, bro.
Okay, so if I text him
Why are you trying to take over his party?
Because I'm hungry and I don't
So
want
just
donuts.
eat something.
I don't want donuts.
Okay, but eat something before.
Well, I was trying to, but I was so indecisive I couldn't figure out what to eat, and now there's
Well,
nothing.
that sounds like a you problem.
Well, it's not a me problem. It's an everybody problem. Because now I'm fetching about it.
Oh, my.
Just give me $200.
What? For cheeseburgers?
Yeah, I'm going to take your $200. I'm going to take my $200. I'm going to have the
You're not
kick
If
in.
I'm giving you $200, you are using all those $200 and not putting in a very similar fashion how you would just try to take over. And it's not your party.
I know, but I'm just trying to make things better for everybody. That's all. I'm not trying to take over. I'm not the party planner.
No, you are.
No,
You're
I'm not.
taking over.
I'm trying to make sure that everybody eats. I mean, I'm not here to eat donuts.
You want no glazed?
I don't want to be glazed, George. Okay? Maybe I'll have one old-fashioned. Maybe. Maybe one old-fashioned.
Just eat something, Cappy.
Because,
Because, by the way, I think most people who have gone to Mason's party don't expect, like, a dinner, and he's kind of already discussed how there's not, like, there'll be, like, finger food, to your point. So, yeah, like, I just think that just eat before you go.
So Rachel's texting me. She goes, are they serving food?
Tell her no.
I don't have the
Tell
heart
her
to
to
tell
eat
her
something.
No, I don't have the heart to tell her no. I don't have the heart.
Hors d'oeuvres, that's what he said.
I don't have the heart to tell her
Hors
no.
d'oeuvres. Tell her only hors d'oeuvres.
He didn't answer, by the way.
How do you spell hors d'oeuvres?
Horse d'oeuvres.
Like horse divers is what my dad calls them.
Horse divers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just sent her a text. HOR divers.
Horse de Orvis.
The horse.
Right. All right. Where were we about the NFL? Where were we going?
Your boy Aaron Rodgers. It's so funny, like, how weird this story has taken a turn because it went from he's going to take his time and do whatever he wants to all of a sudden everyone being like, bro, what are you doing? The Vikings have already, like, said, nah, we're out if you're going to act like this. And now, like, you had, who was the Steelers player? Was it Hayward?
Yeah, it was Cam Hayward, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, they came out and was like, bro, there's no sell. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. You either want to be a Steeler or you don't. Make up your mind.
Right. So now, all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers visits the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
man.
the thing is this:
I would not want at this stage of his career. It's not worth it.
But the thing is with Aaron Rodgers is he's running out of time because he's running out of teams. When Minnesota said thanks but no thanks, was there ever a time where Aaron Rodgers was like, well, that's what Brett Favre did. He left the Packers. He went to the Jets. It was a disaster. He went to the Vikings. He got him to an NFC championship game. You know what? That's what I want to do. But he's running out of teams now because when you really think about it, the Raiders, for example, they've got their starting quarterback in Geno Smith. The Seahawks have their starting quarterback now in Sam Darnold. The Vikings have decided they're going with J.J. McCarthy. There really are no jobs, starting quarterback jobs. So what you're down to, I think, is you're really down
Giants
to
and Steelers.
The Giants and the Steelers.
Well, the Giants just signed Jameis like 5 minutes ago. I
Yeah,
know he's
but
a backup,
I don't
but
think.
still.
Yeah, that's not like a.
But the
starting
Giants are a bad team, and if Aaron Rodgers joins them, they're still a bad team.
Correct.
And if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers and he plays better than what Russell Wilson played last year,
Then they can be a playoff caliber team, win a round, maybe.
And they by going out and getting DK Metcalf, that's a nice piece to have. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you go, hey, wait a second, they got Pickens, they got Metcalf. They got a coach that, this is his organization, so it's not like I'm going to get him fired. There's no other choice for Aaron Rodgers. And the weirdest part of it is, for me, is that Mike Tomlin is entertaining all of this. I would have thought that Mike Tomlin would have been like, no, we don't need that. We don't want that.
He's always been a fan, interestingly enough.
That's what I'm told. That is.
By the way,
I
Jameis
understand.
just tweeted, start spreading the news with an apple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Start spreading the news. I'm on another bad team.
Yeah.
Start spreading the news.
I mean,
my media career is about to begin, so I'm going to New York.
2 years, $8 million with up to $16 million in incentives. That's a pretty good deal for a.
It's a really
For a
good
backup.
deal. For a backup player like that, who might find himself playing, because the Giants still don't really have technically a starting quarterback.
It says Tom Pelissero is reporting the team remains open to adding another quarterback through free agency or the draft, but Winston's deal, 2 years, $8 million, doesn't preclude them from making additional quarterback moves.
Mm-hmm.
As an Eagles fan, I would want him to be the starting quarterback so bad.
I know, right?
Jameis, you're saying?
Jameis, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine, yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers today.
Remember when Lindsay was all fired up about Jameis for like a
Knick-knack,
week and a
this,
half?
that, patty whack, give a dog a bone.
She was so like fired up on
He was
Jameis
my
for, like,
favorite. He was my favorite. I still love Jameis. Like he was amazing during was it the draft or not the draft? I'm sorry,
during
the
the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl week, he was great.
He was
hilarious.
everywhere.
He's
a
By the
great
way,
soundbite.
I fell asleep because I was just tired, but I started watching the Johnny Manziel Netflix thing the other day.
That was good too.
It is good,
What
but
was that
I
one?
was just so tired I couldn't stay up.
Is it the one part doc?
Yeah, it's just one.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm just looking at this report from ESPN. Aaron Rodgers spent 6 hours Friday visiting the Steelers at their practice facility. Rodgers met with the team's coaches in what was described as a positive visit, with the two sides agreeing to stay in touch. Stay in touch. Bro, the draft is not too far.
Yeah.
Draft is not too far around the corner.
Do you think he left and he just like text Tomlin TTYL? You know?
Yeah, talk to you later. Like, hey, Yins are going to go down over to Permanis and get a sandwich in that. See, that would be good. Like a nice Permanis sandwich with like the bacon and the cheese and the egg and then the French fries and
We're
the
going to be pounding
coleslaw.
some irons because Aaron Rodgers.
I still think he's going to wind up with the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too.
He got
Hashtag TTYL.
He got no choices, man. He is. I mean, he's not a Band-Aid quarterback. You know what I mean? Like if somebody were saying, hey, we'd like to sign you, but we're going to draft a guy in the first round, we've already seen how that's played out.
Yeah.
Because we saw that destroy the relationship in Green Bay.
Yeah. All right, Cappy, 30 minutes nonstop coming up in just a sec. Stick around, 710 ESPN on a Friday.
Guys, George
So
Sedano
Mark
here
Wheel
with
from
Dr.
Real-
Amatruda here at CHLA. And, of course, you specialize in children's cancer research. And what can you tell us about all the technological advances that have been made in regards to cancer research for children?
Sure, George. Thanks for the question. You know, it's a really exciting time in treating children with cancer. Our treatments are getting better than ever before. Currently, we can cure more than 3/4 of kids with cancer. We want to do even better. So how do we make up that difference? Well, one way is trying new ideas, and a couple of them are new ways to deliver medicines that are more specific or targeted to the tumor cells. Maybe we can do less off-tumor side effects. The other big one is training the patient's immune system to tackle cancer. And this is a really exciting advance. Imagine taking a patient's own immune cells and teaching them to attack the cancer cells, giving them back. This has proved to be incredibly effective for leukemias, the blood cancer in children, but now we've got to make it work in all types of cancers, and that's the research we're doing right now.
Well, you guys are the leaders, certainly, in cancer research for children here in the western part of the United States, and we thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you very much.
Best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams. One thing really all ties it together, and that's enjoying it all with good friends and a cold Coors Light. Pick up Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Tomorrow is a Madness Saturday at ESPN LA. Tipping off at 11:30 a.m. from the Galen Center. The top seed USC women's basketball team gets the madness in the tourney underway against 16 seed UNC Greensboro on 7:10 a.m. in the ESPN LA app. At noon, hear Kings hockey on the ESPN LA app as they battle the Carolina Hurricanes. And at 6 p.m., the Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off gets underway as the Lakers face the Chicago Bulls at Crypto.com Arena for Saturday night action. It's a Madness Saturday tomorrow on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this? And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Beep-ba-da-bop.
Ding, doo-doo-doo. Bing, ba-da-bop. Boom,
Cappy's trying to
ba-da-bop.
take over Mace's party.
Ding, doo-doo, boom, ba-da-bop. Bing. I think it's actually a nice thing to do, like when there's not food at a party, to like call Uber Eats and like have like, you know,
Why don't you
couple
just
hundred
call
Big
Uber Eats
Macs.
to come to the station?
I told you why. Because we were indecisive.
Right, but you're wasting time.
Right, and
It's
now,
too late
by the
now.
time it gets here now, we're screwed.
Okay, well then you've got an hour between the show and Rachel getting to the train station.
Right.
Eat something there.
At the train station?
Or right there at LA Live.
They do have like bar food there over at the train station.
They do. I know we've done a show from there,
Yeah,
remember?
I'm going
Many
to
years
pass
ago.
on that. That's right.
Okay.
But that's not a bad idea, George. Maybe what I do is maybe I go down to like my spot down here, the Lazy Dog.
Ooh.
That's exactly what I said he was going to do.
Right, because that's what I do. I eat at the same place every
You
time.
say, I want to get something different. I want to get the same thing over and over again. And then you get indecisive, and then you just say, oh, I'll just do what I do all the time.
Right, I know. And then I get really hungry, and then instead of making good choices, then I make
Yep,
bad choices.
Exactly.
You know? Damn it.
I might have to join you at the dog.
Oh, yeah? You want to go to the dog?
I might have to go to the dog.
Okay.
There you go.
wanna
You and
check out the
DeAndre can
dog?
go to the dog.
All right, we may have to go to the dog. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to tell you something right now, man. I was up at Children's Hospital on Monday, schlepped up, then turned around and went back to South.
Yeah.
Then on Wednesday came up to L.A. and then turned around Wednesday night after the game, the Laker game, and went back to South. And here I am again today. And somehow, some way, George, I don't know how I've done this week, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. Get ready because I'm about to flex all over you.
All right, go.
In addition to the one full day of work just committed to driving, 12 hours of driving, I got in all 5 days at F45.
Okay, cool.
Are you impressed by that?
I mean, I don't know. I guess. Sure,
I'm telling you right now,
happy for you.
I love the workout. I do. I love it. I don't have to do any thinking.
Are you getting paid by F45?
I'm not. And
you mention them a lot.
And I keep telling everybody here on our sales team, I'm like, guys, marketing consultants, get out there.
What exactly is the workout? Like, can you give us like a brief overview?
Every day it changes.
Because I know like P90X, wasn't that a lot to do with the pull-up bar?
I don't remember P90X. I thought that was a mask that you wore during COVID. But it's an everyday deal. It's like every day it's a different workout. Some of it's just resistance training. Some of it is just cardio training. But every day they give you so many different exercises that when you walk out, you've done legs, arms, back, core, shoulders. I mean, you have worked the entire body. And the best part of it is you don't have to think. Because I don't know about the rest of you guys. When I go to the gym, if I get done with a set of bench, let's say I bench like 350 for 12 reps, right? Then in between sets, then I get on my phone and I start texting people, or I start checking Twitter, or I start checking Instagram. So I'm wasting time and I'm not putting in the effort. At this place, you don't do any thinking. All the exercises are there on a television monitor for you and you follow along. That's the way it goes. Wake up, George.
I just feel like we've been in like some Body by Jake infomercial.
Hey, I'm working the abadabbas. I'm working the hamsters. I'm working the quadzillas. All right, the bimans and the trimans. Shout out to my boy Jake Steinfeld. Shout out to Body by Jake.
Yeah.
Keep going. Where were you?
Cappy, did they? So what's sucking you in tonight on the NCAA tournament? Because I would imagine it'll be on while we're at Mason's house. Is there anything you're looking forward to watching?
Well, right now, as we sit here today, I'm watching Florida play Norfolk State.
Florida.
Florida. And you know that I'm a big Florida fan. I have no problem. I want Auburn, Florida, or Duke to win the national championship because all three have Hebrew brother head coaches.
Because I'm watching New Mexico Marquette because that's the closest game. I always flip to whatever the closest game is.
I would be watching that game as well, but the two television monitors that are on here in the studio
are on TNT.
Yeah, and I can't figure out how to change them. I can't do it. So we have one TV on in the studio that's not even on.
Let me ask you a question.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think that there's anything college basketball can do to become more than just a month-long sport, let's call it? Like where they get casual audiences checking in. Because I know it happens occasionally, right? Like, when there's like a super like star first pick, like I'm sure, like you look at the numbers for Duke games, I mean, clearly there's a lot of people watching. And there's always a lot of people watching, but there's a few more watching when it's Cooper Flagg. There was a few more watching when it was Zion. You know what I mean? Like, so, but is there anything college basketball can do to gain relevance with the casual sports fan again?
Boy, it's a good question because for me, as of today, my answer is probably not for this reason because I'm only using myself as an example. So, like when I was in college, we went to every game. We loved it. Being in the student section, it was so fun. And then when games were like too big, like for example, when I was in school and I went to Pitt, we played Georgetown. Well, the arena that we had on campus,
right, the old Big East,
right? It was Georgetown. You couldn't hold it when Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo and John Thompson and the Hoyas were coming to town. They would actually move the game from what we called the field house, which held about 6,000, down to the Igloo, which is where the Penguins used to play, and that could fit like 15,000. So when you had big games, Arizona would come to town. And I'm trying to think of those Arizona teams like, Gosh, who were the guys on those
in
teams?
the in the 90s?
In the late 80s.
So
the
like
early
those
90s.
Lute Olson like teams like
Right.
92 or something like
Yeah,
that?
like I remember like Judd Bushler like being on those
right,
kinds
right,
of teams,
right.
you know?
Yeah. Judd Bushler's actually a good pull, Cappy. Look at that.
Well, Judd Bushler's an old buddy of mine now. So, that's
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's San Diego guy,
Yeah,
right?
and he's part of that whole little community. And so
yeah.
And so
no, they had a lot. I mean, listen, they I'm trying to remember. Khalid Reeves, right? Damon Stoudemire, right?
What was the guy's name? He had a very mysterious death. And there's been documentaries done about it where he was like out on some boat somewhere and then he just mysteriously disappeared.
Oh, Bison Dele.
Yes, very good. That's a good call right there. So, like, what I'm getting at is if Georgetown came, if Arizona came, one time Oklahoma came, and I want to say that was like, does this sound right to you? Like a Stacey Augmon?
Stacey Augmon, UNLV.
Oh, UNLV. Oh, gosh, who was the star of Oklahoma back then? Anyway, whatever. The point is that I went to every home game, and I loved college basketball. And then, I don't know about everybody else, but like I graduated college, and I still kept up with my team all the time. And when they're on TV, and by the way, I rarely know that they're on TV. It's just I happen to be flipping around. Oh, cool, my team's playing. I'll watch.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, George, for me, I got into San Diego State basketball. This is like 20 years ago.
Right.
When Steve Fisher was just building that program, and there was
when
nobody
he
there.
took off from Michigan. Right. Yeah.
And I spent at literally, like, I would say 16, 17 years going to almost every home game. So, like, let's say there were, 20 home games in a
Coached
regular
Rob
season.
Pelinka, by the way.
Yes, he did. That's how I met Rob. So let's just say it was 15, 16 years. I was at every home game. I sat courtside, right behind the bench. It was an awesome experience. I watched them go from having like 5,000 people in the arena to every single night, 12,414.
Right. Because I'll tell you this, when Lonzo was at UCLA, you couldn't get tickets to go to the game. Like, it was, like, I remember going to a UCLA-Michigan game on like a weekday afternoon, and it was on CBS TV at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the place was packed to the gills, man. Like, it was, and the energy in the building was wild. And I've been to some UCLA and USC games since, but I haven't felt that kind of energy like I felt like when he was there, because it was a phenomenon when he was at UCLA.
So what do you guys think? Just take a guess here. You ready? Mm-hmm. Lindsay, I'll bet you could pull this information really quickly. What was the average attendance this year for UCLA men's basketball games? What's the average attendance for USC men's basketball this past season? And what's the average attendance for San Diego State? And I'm only throwing San Diego State in there because I happen to know what the
6,447 for Pauley Pavilion, which averages about
what do you think it holds? 12,000?
It says through 14 home games, men's games are averaging
13,800 for Pauley.
6,447 fans a game.
So half the building is empty.
Last year's attendance was 7,500.
Okay. George, you're asking a really interesting question, and I think looking at the attendance totals at UCLA is a really interesting thing to look at. If UCLA in Los Angeles, where there's 12 million people, can't find 13,000 people per game, that kind of tells you a little something about like how people look at the regular season of college basketball. Now, maybe the reason that last year there was higher attendance at UCLA than there was this year is because maybe all those Pac-12 fans that have grown up with the Pac-12 are like, I don't know
what I'm watching. Right. Yeah. And by the way, 2 years ago, they were averaging about like just under 10,000. And that they still had Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez, right? The team that went to the Final Four. So, yeah, I think part of that is familiarity with the players and also familiarity. I don't dismiss the familiarity or lack thereof of the new conference.
Yeah. And listen, I know it's an old man take. I got it. But I'll say it one more time. In my opinion, all this transfer portal and all this NIL stuff, it has damaged the product, in my opinion. And when I say damage the product, what I mean is that rather than having a group of kids that get recruited out of high school, and in theory they're going to spend the next 4 years together, one kid's going to be great and is going to leave for the NBA early, but every year, every guy tests the waters in the portal, so every year, every guy is transferring. And I say guy, it could be girl as well. And then what happens is you don't know who your team is. And so, in my opinion, people are less interested because they don't know the players. And in the case of UCLA and USC, now they don't know the opponents. So we look at the attendance figures at UCLA going down year by year. I don't know what the attendance figures are at USC.
USC is averaging, well, last season they averaged 5,300 per game.
Okay, and then I wonder if you go the year before that, because that was Bronny's
when
one and
Bronny
only
was
year.
there. I bet you there was more people. Yeah,
Probably so. So, side note to all of this, George, Bronny James, I got a really interesting DM from one of our listeners who I thought had a really good point. He said, wait a second, with all this talk about Bronny and how people, because this was earlier in the show, if you dared, how dare you say that Bronny actually played pretty well last night and scored 17 points and led the Lakers, and yeah, they got blown out, but who cares? Like, Bronny actually played a pretty decent game while every starter was sitting on the bench other than Jackson Hayes. This guy said to me, his name is TJ, he said, with all the money that LeBron's family has, this kid could have easily walked away from basketball after the incident that happened at USC.
Yeah.
And instead, the kid busted his ass and continued to play. And yes.
Well, that's exactly what LeBron said on the Kelsey podcast.
Well, listen, I didn't see that or hear that, but that's a really good point. Like, why not be a fan of this kid and give him his props when he actually has a good night, given that circumstance as well?
So I'll give you an example, and I don't want to go into specific names, but I know there's an NBA owner that I know a little bit. And, like a lot of these sports teams, the family gets, into the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jeannie, right? Worked her way up from a lot of different positions. And this particular gentleman who owned this particular NBA team told his son wanted to get into the business. And in some cases, I'm not going to name names, but there are some teams recently who have literally thrusted their children into the front office. I mean, hell, we've seen it with the Cowboys in the NFL, right, with Steven and Jerry Jones. This particular NBA owner made his son start selling tickets.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
Literally in the ticket, when you walked up, if you wanted to go up and buy a ticket, or if you were you had will call or whatever, the guy who was giving you your tickets was the owner's son.
That's
okay?
awesome. That's what you
I'm
should
not
do.
even joking about that.
That's
okay?
great. Yeah.
And then he went after a year there. He then went and worked a year with the marketing department. You know what I'm saying? And then did a year at the sales department. And then did a year I don't remember where else, what other department there was on the business side. Then after 5 years, got a chance to be basically the work in basketball ops. Right? So he had learned all the different aspects of the business side, and then he started to work on the basketball, which is where he really wanted to be. But the father made him do 5 years of all the other stuff, including starting selling tickets. And what the father told me was, if he wasn't willing to put in the work to sell tickets and be the will call guy, then I wasn't going to give him a chance to give him what he wants.
Well, I applaud that, because if you are a billionaire and you own an NBA team and you're going to bring your family into it, give them the full experience. Well, so George, here's what's going on. We're having a full conversation about college basketball, the tournament. What can college basketball do to bring back the casual fan?
And there's a fire alarm going off?
There is a fire alarm going off here in LA Live in our studio. The lights are flashing. And, Lindsay, I guess I can hear.
You should probably check to see if this is real.
The lady's telling us to evacuate, so.
I'm going down with the ship.
How about you check? How about somebody call downstairs and check?
Or check your email, because ESPN security could be hitting us
Usually,
up with some
yeah,
emails.
they send one right away. Did you get one the other day about the people getting stuck in the elevator?
No, tell me.
Yeah, there was people got stuck in the elevator. They had to call the fire department.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fire department showed up in 8 minutes, it said in the email.
Okay. Yeah, the here at LA Live in our ESPN
Well, I see the flashing
studios,
behind you, yeah.
The flashing lights are happening, and there's
So,
that
Cappy, you're
recording.
like the captain of the ship? You're going down with the ship?
I'm not leaving. I will, at 6 o'clock or 5:57:30, I will run out of this place. But in the interim?
So 40 minutes. But what if it's actually going down?
Well, if it's
usually it's off by now.
Yeah, if it's actually going down, then
you're running down the stairs.
Well, we're only on the second floor, which is good, and I've scouted the whole deal. I figure I can jump from the second floor and still land.
No.
Yeah. No, I think I can land it, George. No, I think I can land it. I've already scouted. I always do that in the weirdest way. I used to live in New York City for a short period of time, and I lived
So
on
the fire escape?
And I lived on like the 7th floor, and I had a balcony outside of the apartment, and I always thought to myself, if I had to jump, there was like a tree like right outside, and I was like, okay, it's about a 15 to 20 foot jump.
What did you think like you're like some sort of stunt man that you're going to jump onto the tree and grab onto it?
Very Reacher-esque. You know what I mean? You know, that's my idol. You know, it's my hero.
But you didn't know Reacher back then.
I didn't
They just
know.
didn't have a fire escape when you lived in New York?
I don't remember a fire escape like on the building. So I had this thought that I would put my leg over, like Andre the Giant going into the ring. I would go over the railing, and then I would jump from the balcony to a tree while holding my son in my left arm. I would grab a vine with my right arm.
Like Tarzan.
Kind of like that. And then as far as my now ex-wife, you know, she was kind of, I don't know. We're down here. I climbed the tree. You jump. Jump, girl.
DeAndre, you played JUCO. Is there a way to make college basketball more relevant during the actual season?
Man. I felt like I was a lot more into college basketball when I knew who was on which team. I feel like the transfer portal has been too much. Even we even talked about the coaches even going in there and being able to accept the position when they're still in the tournament. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's hard to follow when guys are able to transfer as soon as the season is over. So I feel like if there was maybe a rule change in that to kind of put some sort of limitations into that to where you have some more storylines going on, because, I mean, when I grew up watching, I was remembering the Kentucky days when there was like, you got the Devin Booker, you got the, DeMarcus Cousins, and those
Even
teams,
though you knew they were one and done, you knew who was there.
but you knew who the stars were, and you knew who they were. And I feel like there's not that really much of impact players right now. And I feel like once that time comes, you find out who the impact player is, and because there's some guys who were not one and done. They stayed a little bit longer in college, and I just feel like the transfer portal has been the biggest thing right now.
Right, because it's not the NIL, because the NIL is actually what makes them more famous. Because you know that Cooper Flagg is making $4 or $5 million in NIL or whatever it is, right? The transfer portal. Here's the thing: if it were me, I would. If it were me, you would get X amount of transfers. Okay.
You mean
would
like
get
number of times that you can transfer?
3, let's call it, right?
Oh,
let's just
so
use a round
low.
number.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You get 3, right? But I'll say this. I would close the loophole on coaches. You can't be taking a job while you're coaching in the NCAA tournament. Like that's absurd. Like you can't do that either. And by the way, you would be able to forego, like you can get an extra transfer if your coach leaves, which they do in football, and I'm fairly certain they do in basketball as well. It opens the floodgates for 30 days. But so I would keep that in place, though, too. Because if your coach can leave, you should be able to get the hell out of there. Because you committed to that coach in that school and that particular style of play.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember those Villanova teams with Jay Wright, and you have
those guys
Jalen
played for a long
Brunson,
time.
You had DiVincenzo.
Right,
you had.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
Josh
by the way,
Hart.
the transfer portal was around back then. It just wasn't as prominent, and those guys just decided to stay
because of NIL, though.
Yeah,
right?
because now that these guys are like, okay, I can leave from Texas and go to Arizona because they're going to give me a little bit more cash.
Again, I'll give you guys a very real example. 2 years ago, George, you and I were down in Houston. We were down there for the Final Four. You came down. Miami had made it. I went down. San Diego State had made it. I'm trying to think. UConn won the national championship the year, and there was a real Cinderella, which was Florida Atlantic, who you'll never hear from ever again in your life. So those guys go down there, and there was a kid on San Diego State's team who hit the game-winning shot over Florida Atlantic to get them to the national championship game. The next year, he went back to San Diego State. He was getting paid a lot of money. He got endorsements with Smoothie King and whatever else, right? And the kid was making quite a bit of money. Well, he left for his senior year, and he went to Kentucky, where he was going to be paid well over $1 million. Well, one school doesn't have that kind of money in their NIL basket, so these kids are leaving for the most amount of money. Now, a lot of people would say, well, good for them, because they may not make it to the NBA, and wouldn't it be better to leave school with, a couple $1 million in the bank than stay at a school where you're not going to make that kind of money? The flip side to that is that if you stay at the school and you graduate from the school and you're part of that community, and when I say community, I don't mean the town, I mean the boosters and the coaches and the whole academic community and school community, maybe there's a job for you or whatever. I guess I would be like most kids, be like, I'd rather have the money in the bank. I get it.
Listen, if I were that kid at San Diego State, I would have ran to Kentucky too for that $1 million.
And I understand. But I saw one of the coaches who.
Hell, I'd run to Kentucky right now for $1 million.
I understand.
If Mark Pope wants to offer me $1 million to leave this show, I'm signing up, Coach.
You're there.
I can still hit a few jumpers.
I don't know about that, but I saw one of the coaches say this after his team got knocked out of the tournament the other day. He was, well, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go back to my office, and I'm going to put my GM hat on, and I'm going to try and build a team for next year. And they were like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I have no idea how many of the players that I have will come back to me next year, and I have no idea who's going to be in the transfer portal. So now, rather than going out to recruit high school kids, all I'm going to do is try and keep the best kids that I've got, and I'm going to go hit the portal and see if I can bring guys in. So, you know, it's such a great question you ask at the beginning of all this. What could college basketball do to bring the casual fan back? And I don't think we've gotten any answers here this afternoon.
What if they were to transfer? But like, because I remember when I was like high school ball, even in college at the time when I was playing, like you would have to sit out. You have to sit out a certain amount of games if you do
go back to that.
That's how it was.
No,
when
they
I was in
shouldn't.
school.
That's
Not a whole
absurd.
season, but like at least a certain amount of games, like the
No.
rest of the season or something.
That's silly. That again, no coaches don't get any of that. Like literally, you can go, you commit to go play for a guy.
Coaches get it too.
They would never agree to that. So that's the point.
But what?
Well, let me just say this.
Wait, they would never agree. The coaches would never agree to it. So why would the players have to sit out if the coaches are never going to agree to sit out?
If you make that the rule, I mean, look at the coaches never wanted to agree to NIL money. Look at guys like Nick Saban who said, I don't like this, so I'm not going to do this anymore. Like people always thought that there would never be a way to pay college players.
Right, but I also think you run into litigation, and that's where these things this is what we've found out is that the NCAA is toothless.
Kind of like my dog. My dog has lost all
You're
of
right.
his teeth. You know what I mean? So like he goes to bite people on the ankle, and now it's like he's just gumming them. You know? So like people are like, "Hey, he's snipping at my ankles." I'm like, "Yeah, you got no teeth. You're fine. You're good."
Does it still hurt though?
I mean, I guess the other day he did like break the skin of one of my friends. You know? I'm
How
like,
if he doesn't have
I
any
don't know.
teeth?
He's got like 3 of them.
Oh,
he's got like
he still
3
has a
teeth.
couple.
You know, he's just got a couple. So they're toothless. George is what they are. They're toothless.
Yeah. Listen, here's what needs to happen.
All right, tell us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In football should start this, okay? Just start your own thing without the NCAA. Go back to 4 regions, 64 teams, okay? And call it a day. 16 in the Northeast, 16 in the Midwest, 16 in the South, and 16 in the West.
Okay. So you got 64 teams, and then what do you do with the other 64 or 75 or whatever it is?
I'm talking about football,
I know.
starting football.
I know. What do you do with the other divisions?
Well, but there's I want to say college football, there's 100, right, like 130, I guess, power 4 teams. Those don't make the cut, bro.
Relegated.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're in the group of 5
Hey,
again.
learn-
Because that's where you were probably not too long ago. Group of 5. And the group of 5 should have their own, in football, like, championship. Like, they should just compete against the group of 5. Doesn't mean that occasionally they can't go up and play against a power 5, or a power 4 in this scenario. But they should have their own thing. First of all, you could sell it to TV, so you can make a little extra coin that way. I mean, we watch on TV the Division 1 and 2 football tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is on actual ESPN and ABC. So, like, you can do that. Like, that's what I would do if I were the commissioner of, like, college athletics for a day. And then I would do something similar with the NCAA. I would say there's 300. There's no need to be 300, okay? Cut it in half, and then you do your tournament and call it a day. And you do the same thing.
Well, again, back to the beginning of all of this, you know, what could...
And that way it's more, I'm sorry, Cabby. That way it's more, if it's more transactional, there's less teams to be transactional with, is what I would say. Easier to follow.
I guess, but it's so interesting. We look at those attendance figures. You know, Lindsay, what was the year that USC had Bronny? What was the average attendance that year?
It was 6,300, and then this past year or last year it was 5,300. So it was only about 1,000 average higher per game.
Right, but think about that. Like, if I would have thought that the year that Bronny was there, that the average attendance might have been 10 or 12,000. What's a sellout at USC?
Check.
I mean, I probably 12,000 or so, something like that. So it's amazing that in a city like Los Angeles, with the number of people that went to USC and went to UCLA, and with the history of UCLA basketball in particular, they're averaging less than half of what their building holds. So Pauley Pavilion holds, I think you said it was 13,800, and they're averaging like 6,500 people. That's crazy.
So the record attendance is like 9682. So
At Pauley.
No, at USC.
Oh,
that's the
for
most,
a season. You're saying
that's the most that they had.
That's the record
for a
average.
season.
Oh, the record average. Okay,
Yes.
right. So about 10,000. Yeah, and they're averaging half of that. So why is that? USC basketball, look, okay, they're not very good. You know, there was a kid, George, we were talking earlier about UCSD versus Michigan. There was a kid who was the star, the leading scorer of the UCSD basketball team last year when they were in Division II. He transferred to USC. Bro never made it off the bench.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Crazy.
Hey, I'm leaving to go to USC, but my old team's in the NCAA tournament, almost beating Michigan, and my new team at USC, I don't even play.
By the way, that year that they had their record attendance was with Michael Beasley and O.J. Mayo on the team.
Okay.
Damn. Wait,
he was good.
Who? USC?
Yes.
The year that they averaged almost 10,000 per game.
No, USC never had Michael Beasley.
It
Michael
says-
Beasley went to Kansas State.
It says USC, and the first round gave heavy media attention because, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
O.J. Mayo.
Yep.
And then
O.J. Mayo was on the team.
Right,
yes.
and there was some kind of scandal with improper benefits
I
and
don't
O.J.
remember.
Mayo.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And there was a rivalry, I guess, between Michael Beasley and O.J. Mayo.
Well, they were, O.J. Mayo, Michael Beasley was the number 2 pick, Derrick Rose number 1, and O.J. Mayo was number 3.
O.J. Mayo, he was declared ineligible to play in 07-08, and then they had to voluntarily vacate all their regular season wins for that season.
There you go.
All right.
That sucks.
By the way, Cappy, you may be onto something.
Tell me.
The Lakers have just put out their status report for tomorrow.
Okay.
LeBron is now questionable.
I'm telling you, I watched him work out yesterday. Not that I was there watching him work out.
Like a scout.
I saw the video of LeBron working out. He's got no shirt on. He's got the arena to himself, and he's running down the floor, and then they're passing him the ball as he's going to the paint. He dunks the ball, turns around, no stopping, turns around, runs down the floor, gets the pass, dunks the ball, turns around, goes back to floor, and this is going on and on and on. He's not like stopping and going, okay, I ran up and down. And I'm watching him, and I'm going, he looks completely healthy. It doesn't mean that he is. I don't see any limp. I don't see him slow. I see him explosive. It just wouldn't surprise me if LeBron were to make his comeback tomorrow before the team hits the road.
All right. Well, it may happen. You never know. And by the way, this would be the original timeline that Shams put out anyway. All right, Cappy, before we go to Big Deal, No Deal, tell us about your friends at Ocean Subaru.
Oh, I would love to do that. First of all, big shout out to my guy Omar. I'll always tell you guys this. Omar spent 20 plus years in the U.S. Army. Shout out to Omar, and thank you for your service. And he had a very decorated military career. And then when he was done, he was like, what do I do now? And like a lot of people, football players like, I don't know what to do. I just retired. I don't have anybody telling me what to do. Same thing goes if you're in the military. I mean, they tell you what to wear. They tell you when to show up. And, you come out and you're like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And then Omar got into sales and started to love the art of selling, but not just selling anything. He wanted to sell cars, and he wanted to sell Subarus. And he literally started, you talk about George starting in the ticket office. Omar started out on the floor. He's making sales, and now he's elevated to where he's running the entire store. And when I say running the store, you're talking about a Subaru store, okay? Ocean Subaru is conveniently located at 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, right off the 91 freeway. I've been there many times because I've driven not all of them, but I've driven a pretty nice selection of Subarus, the Solterra, the Crosstrek, the Forester. I love them. They look small on the outside, but they're very spacious on the inside, and they're a very sporty vehicle, all-wheel drive, the great safety, technology, versatility, reliability, literally the safest vehicle on the road. So if you are looking for a new Subaru, let me tell you something right now. We are going to make sure that you are in the right one. We've got the most knowledgeable sales staff, and we are going to get you into the perfect Subaru for your needs. Go to oceansubaruoc.com for more information. That's oceansubaruoc.com. And don't miss right now the Subaru A Lot to Love event. It is on. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
Tomorrow is a Madness Saturday at ESPN LA. Tip it off at 11:30 a.m. from the Gaywood Center. The top seed USC women's basketball team gets the madness in the tourney underway against 16 seed UNC Greensboro on 7:10 a.m. in the ESPN LA app. At noon, hear Kings hockey
I
on
showed
the
up at
ESPN.
the hospital and was told I couldn't see my children. Then I showed up in court and was told they may not be mine. Then I was accused of anything and everything: sexual assault, domestic violence, substance abuse, you name it, I heard it. I was forced to go long periods of time without seeing my children. That experience of being wrongfully treated ignited something in me. I can look at a father and honestly tell him, I know how he is feeling. I've been there. At Real Fathers Rights, we care about your family, your livelihood, and your future.
Hey everybody, John Ireland here. Now is your chance to vote for the Lakers GOAT, the greatest Laker fan of all time. If you listen to the station, you know we've had this contest going on for a while. We got some fantastic entries, but only 4 people made it to the finals, and you can decide who is the Lakers GOAT. Go to that website, LakersGoat.com. The word Lakers, GFOAT.com. Voting going on now through March 24th. You'll decide who's the greatest Laker fan of all time.
Security deposit. See dealer for complete details. Expires 3/31/2025.
Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park Casino, LA's premier card room. Now open 24/7. Enjoy Century Bar and Grill's flavorful menu for lunch or late night dinners. Catch up with friends on game days while watching your favorite teams, or unwind and enjoy live music and crafted cocktails inside the Rays Lounge. Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park Casino, located next to SoFi Stadium, the Forum, and the all-new Intuit Dome. Hollywood Park Casino must be 21 plus to enter. For more info, go to playhpc.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come. Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Tomorrow, it's an MLS Western Conference showdown as LAFC battle Sporting KC at Children's Mercy Park.
On the ground, Ordaz in the middle. To a Bobasine, left-footed shot at it!
Can the black and gold bounce back with a win? Or will Sporting KC defend their home turf?
Goal! Jeremy Bobasine! Goal, LAFC!
LAFC versus Sporting KC. Pre-game starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. on the ESPN LA app.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Take a look at me.
I feel like your fat is less visceral.
Oh, really?
The LA Afternoon Takeover rolls on right now.
Sorry, I'm housing some chicken katsu from the Hawaiian barbecue place.
Ooh, chicken katsu is fire.
You're housing
so
it?
good. Yeah, man.
Damn. See?
Taking it down.
See, we should have
all
ordered 3 hours ago.
You want to see it?
Let me take a look. Let me take a look what you got. Let me see what you're housing. I'm ready for it. But the YouTube's a little bit behind, so.
All right.
see it when
Big
I
deal,
see
no
it.
deal. Take it away, Lindsay.
All right, so a Pennsylvania man who was going through security at a New Jersey airport was found to have a live turtle concealed in his pants. The turtle was detected Friday after a body scanner alarm went off.
Is that a turtle you got in your pants, or you're happy to see me?
Or you're wearing a cup.
So the body scanner alarm went off, and then TSA had to do a pat down. They found like something going on in his groin area that may or may not have been moving. And then they found this red ear slider turtle, which is apparently a popular pet. All it says in the story is the turtle was confiscated, and it's not clear if the turtle was the man's pet or why he had it in his pants.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask, have you guys ever gotten anything confiscated by TSA?
I mean, Cappy has a whole story about
we
it
know
when he went
that
to
one.
Mexico.
Besides that one, unless you want to retell it,
I
you know.
forgot about that one. I was thinking more like the times that I've like gone through TSA and I've had a carry-on and I've got like a big thing of like hair gel or something, and they're like, "Wait, you can't take this liquid with you." I'm like, "It's just hair gel," and they're like, "Well, you can't take it." And they're like, "You can go back and check it in." I'm like, "Nah, it's not that big a deal. I'll replace it at a CVS to where I'm going." So, yeah, I mean, things like that get confiscated. But, of course, I did have that situation where I was flying down to Mexico through Tijuana, and this woman just saw me coming from a mile away. And she went through every article of clothing I had, went into every pocket, and found every ounce of weed that I was carrying with me.
You had ounces?
Well, I had, like, vape cartridges and gummies, and I had some pre-rolls, and they were all still packaged. Like, I didn't, like, take them out of the package. And she saw it. She saw me. She's like, "This guy right here, something ain't right."
You know what the trick is? You got to put them in like your toiletry bag or like a makeup bag.
Well, it was a dumb move by me. I should not have done that. And she told me, she goes, "Here's your deal. You either turn around, take your stuff, go home, come back. You can come back tomorrow." She goes, "Or you can pay your fine right now and you can come into Mexico." So, of course, I went over. I paid the fine. And then I asked them if I could have my stuff back, and they told me no.
But didn't Beto say there wasn't really a fine?
I don't know if it was. I paid it.
He was like, there's no such thing as a fine.
They
You just
hustled
got
you is what
money.
he might have said.
Right, they took my money. They're like, "Hey, we're not going to let you into the country."
sucks.
George, by the way, that chicken that you're housing looks really great.
Yeah, it's good. So we had a situation when we were in Europe. All of a sudden, we're going through TSA. It might have been when we were coming back to London for the end of the trip before we came home to the States. And the bags go through the screening thing, and then all of a sudden Mateo's little roller gets pulled aside. I'm like, "Oh, did he put like a bottle of water in there or something or whatever?"
You're like,
and
rookie.
And when they open it, he had taken a bunch of rocks from the beach where we were in Spain and had packed them because he liked the rocks. And he had packed them in his roller. And the lady was like, "I mean, they're not weapons, but they could be considered a weapon. It's his." And I'm like, "Bro, we were in the beach. Yeah, we'll." She's like, "Do you want to keep them? I guess technically I could let you have them." And I'm like, "No, we're good. Keep the rocks."
Do you know that one time Rachel and I were flying down to Mexico, and she was bringing a coffee maker, and she had it in her bag. I mean, it wasn't huge. It was something that could make it through TSA, and they confiscated it because it was brand new. They said, "No, you can't take that."
Why? Because it was brand new.
I don't know, because it was in the box and it was new. And so I guess...
Why didn't you just take it out of the box?
She should have taken it out of the box before we even got to the airport because we didn't know. But again, it's a hustle when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Did Mateo cry when he had to get rid of his rocks?
No, he was bummed a little bit, but he forgot
poor
about it 10
guy.
minutes
So what
later.
happened to the turtle? What'd they do with the turtle?
The turtle.
Because when they get my hair gel or they get some liquid from my toiletry bag, they throw it in the garbage. What did they do with the turtle? They throw the turtle in the garbage?
I don't know, but all it said at the end was the turtle was confiscated, and it's not clear why he had it in his pants.
Well, I mean, I've got some theories on why he had it in his pants. But that being said, I wonder what happened to that little turtle.
I think that they have, because there's often animals.
They give them back to the wildlife people.
Yeah, because there's actually a podcast I listened to somewhat recently. I think it was, I forget what it was, one of these true crime ones. Oh, Criminal, where this guy's, his job was to be, he was like the fish and wildlife agent, and he would basically crack down on people and literally arrest them for smuggling animals and wildlife and sea creatures that you're not supposed to. And there was some guy that was smuggling these really, really expensive butterflies, like dead butterflies that would go for, some of them would go for up to like $30,000-$40,000 because they're very rare. But you're not allowed to possess them, I guess, in the United States. And this guy went to jail for a whole bunch of years. And it's just like there's people that's their job is to find stuff like that.
Weird.
Which is crazy.
I have a buddy who works at TSA, and he says this crazy animal stuff you see on a regular basis is wild.
I have a friend of mine who was traveling through an airport, and he had with him, I'll without getting into too much detail, he had a sex toy.
Did his wife know about it?
Maybe. He was by himself, so maybe not. Okay. And he literally had a sex toy with him. So the TSA guys, they go through his bags and they open it up, and the guy is holding it. The TSA guy is holding.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
In his hand.
In front of everyone.
In front
Shouldn't
of everyone.
do that.
And my buddy's like, bro, come on, man. Like, cut me a little bit of a break here, will you please? Like,
That's
sort
dirty.
Of, first of all, it's disgusting that you're holding it, and secondly, that's kind of my private little thing.
Right. What
you know?
I mean is, like, they did him dirty. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like they don't see tons of those things.
Well, and it also might have actually literally been dirty.
Yeah,
as
it was
well,
like,
so.
yeah, like it could have been disgusting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what's next, Lindsay?
So a Cheeto shaped like the beloved Pokemon Charizard has sold at auction for a total cost of $87,840.
Oh, get the bleep out of here.
Yes, I remember seeing this. It was like they were calling it the Cheetozard, and it was sold by the Golden Auction House, which is that famous sports memorabilia auction and collectible cards and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the auction description was. Presented as a 3-inch long, flamin' hot Cheeto in the shape of the Pokemon Charizard, affixed to a custom Pokemon card and encapsulated in a clear card storage box. It was initially discovered and preserved sometime between 2018 and 2022 by First and Gold Collectibles. The Cheeto surged in popularity on social media in late 2024. So there were 60 people that bid on this thing.
Bid on a Cheeto.
Yes, it's literally just a Cheeto. So I wanted to ask, what's the dumbest thing you guys have ever bought?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Dumbest thing I ever bought?
Or your significant other? What's
I mean,
the-
I bought like, I did buy like a really nice sports coat once that was, I could have bought like 2 suits for it. And that was like, in retrospect, I'm like, that was just dumb.
Gosh, I'm really thinking here right now.
Andre, you ever buy anything dumb?
Nah, not really. Nah.
I can think of something now that you mention it.
Let me hear.
I remember when I was little, my sister and her friend and I were probably, I don't know, it was probably like 12, 13. And there was this Woolworth that was by our house. And we could walk to it. We could like walk behind this field and get to it. So we found like a $50 bill.
Yeah.
And
Woolworth, for those that don't know, is like a Marshall's, basically. Or like
they
a
had-
TJ Maxx
yeah.
kind of ish.
they had tons of, they had a lot of like food and candy and stuff. Like they had a whole candy aisle there.
Yeah,
And-
but it was a lot more like, you know what? I would say it was like a Walmart, right? That's probably a better way to describe it because it did have food and stuff in it too.
Woolworth and Walmart were like, I feel like they were like head to head.
Right. So we walked up to the store and we took the $50 and we spent it all on candy. $50 worth of candy.
Doesn't sound so dumb.
I think it's pretty dumb.
I mean, as a kid, whatever.
It was just funny because we came home with all these bags of candy and they're like, where'd you guys get the money for all of that? Like $50 worth of candy back,
Is a lot. Yeah, that is
a lot.
true.
Tons of
When
candy.
when I was young and I was like fresh out of college and I had a bunch of buddies that were like playing in the NFL, they'd always want to go to strip clubs. And I was like, guys, I don't really have like the cash for the strip clubs. And like every time I'd go into one of these things, I'd always walk out going, why did I do that? Because you walk out with no money.
You're like, I don't got any cash on me. They're like, that's okay. I'll walk you over to the ATM.
One time I was in one of these places, and my buddy was like, okay, we're going to go and we're going to get private dances. So he was in like one room, and I was in like the room like a couple doors over, right? And so the 3 songs gets done, and she goes, well, do you want some more? And I'm like, well, here's what I need you to do. Go 2 doors down, knock on the door, talk to my buddy, tell him to give you money, and then come back to me.
And she did, didn't she?
You're darn right
Yep,
she did.
That's right. Because he wanted to stay in there longer himself.
Right, he had all the money.
Yep.
Right. That's funny. Yeah. Gentlemen's club's definitely a waste of money.
Oh,
There's
big
no
time.
doubt about that. I haven't even thought of one actually since John and Sliwa went to one years ago.
I haven't been to a gentleman's club it's been about I'd say 5 or 6 years, when a buddy of mine was being married for the second time, and we went to a club one night because that's what he wanted to do. And I don't think I've been in one since. And I remember that night. Oh, I remember that particular night. It was 2000, I want to say like 18. My son was playing in a high school football game.
Oh, no, you missed his game to go to the script club?
The game was in Hawaii, believe it or not. It was one of those travel games. And instead of like looking at the girls or being a part of the
You're
festivities,
watching the game on like a stream.
I was watching the game on my phone.
That's funny.
That's funny.
It's hilarious.
All right, Cappy, we have Seller's Advantage, Real Deal, Dealer's Choice, whatever we're calling it. And that's coming up next.
Hey, guys, it's Cap. Here's the
I'm
scenario.
Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
With over 30 years in the business and more than 20,000 real estate transactions, Seller's Advantage offers a much better buying experience.
We don't charge agent fees, you pay no commissions, and you make no repairs. Seller's Advantage will show you a no obligation as-is cash offer and can close in just a few days.
Just check out our Google reviews and see for yourself.
Call Seller's Advantage today or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey everybody, John Ireland here. Now is your chance to vote for the Lakers GOAT, the greatest Laker fan of all time. If you listen to the station, you know we've had this contest going on for a while. We got some fantastic entries, but only 4 people made it to the finals, and you can decide who is the Lakers GOAT. Go to that website, LakersGoat.com. The word Lakers, GFOAT.com. Voting going on now through March 24th. You'll decide who's the greatest Laker fan of all time.
Changes everything.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Final segment of the show. We may experiment with the format next week. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe Monday. Since I'll be in Are we on Monday?
No, I don't think so. I think we're on.
Oh, no, we're off.
I think we have Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There are going to be Laker games on the East Coast next week.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a weird schedule next week. Is it East Coast, Jack?
Very nice. Very close. Took it right to the end. I like it.
East Coast Laker games are causing havoc with the show.
Yeah, and Lindsay and I were just talking during the commercial break, but there could be more havoc created next week with.
Right, because of Juju and USC's women's.
Right,
Yeah,
right. God, if we get preempted on Friday of next week, I'm going to be so pissed.
Why?
So, I've been trying to find a time to go down to Florida to visit my mom and dad, who I haven't seen in a while.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was looking at next week because I thought that would be a good time to go since we had some days off due to the Laker games. And I didn't book anything. And then I was like, well, it's going to be kind of hard because if I go down there on Thursday night, but then I have to work on Friday, and then we got to come back because on Monday we have this remote broadcast, which I was like, maybe I'll just stay down there. I mean, this is just, I can't get my schedule together.
Wait, but the remote broadcast is April 7th. That's not
good.
this next week.
Oh, it's not?
That's,
Okay, good.
That's 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
We're not talking about this coming Monday. We're talking about the following Monday, which is the 7th. Yeah. So, like, he was saying that he would go down to Florida, not this.
Right, but the April 1st, Cappy, is going to be on not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after that.
Okay. I don't know what day it is. I have no idea what day it is.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, today's the 21st. There's still like a whole other week of March, and then then a Monday after that is still the 31st. Like March is still long.
Yeah, it's a long month. It's exactly right. It's like 5 weeks, or so you think. Anyway, it's time for the Dealer's Choice Real Deal, brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Hey, if you want to sell your house, before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They're going to buy it with an as-is competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer, or go to sellersadvantage.com. By the way, driving up today, I saw 2 billboards for Seller's Advantage on the 5 freeway heading north. So these guys are everywhere. George, I'm going to just say this about today's Dealer's Choice. I'm kind of pumped to get done, and I admit I'm kind of excited about Mason's party tonight. You know, I think.
Have you not been to a Mason party?
Never been to a Mason party before.
Oh.
So
no wonder you were trying to get food.
Right, I had no idea.
No, don't. Just go eat something.
All right, so here's the thing. There's going to be some interesting folks there tonight. Mm-hmm. And I know DeAndre's kind of fired up because DeAndre said to me before the show, he's like, wow, this is kind of like, there's some players in the house tonight, you know?
That's right.
Mason's got a buddy of his who's in the band, the Imagine Dragons, who's coming. Not that I couldn't tell you one Imagine Dragon song, although I think I would know them if I heard them.
Yeah, you definitely would know them if you heard them.
My boy Deacon Fry from the Eagles is coming tonight. Not the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles, the band.
Maybe they can team up and do a duo together.
Well, there's talk about maybe doing a duet tonight between these fellas.
Is there? Is there talk?
There is conversation happening. It's just me to me, but, it's conversation happening. I did ask Mason if Bryan Cranston is coming. Cranston is out of town.
Yeah, no Cranston.
O'Shea Jackson Jr., obviously. I mean, we're a little desensitized, but he's kind of a big thing,
He is a big deal,
right? Yeah. So, DeAndre, who are you interested in canoodling with tonight?
Probably talk a little more to O'Shea.
Yeah, you want to talk to O'Shea?
Yeah, you guys are young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, since he said, I like, the song, the cha-cha side, he said that, it's like a little cookout. I like the little cookout ass song.
How old is O'Shea, you think?
Early 30s.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he knows ball.
He does know ball.
He knows a little ball, does he? Which kind of ball does he know? Little basketball? Little football? What kind of ball does he know? Little basket freaking ball over here. Hey. And I'm shocked, Georgie. I thought that I would get a call from Rachel that says, hey, I'm just too damn busy. Work is crazy. I'm not going to make the train. Yeah. But instead, I got a picture.
She's on her way.
She was on the train.
There you go.
She was in San Juan Capistrano.
Yeah.
She's making her way to Union Station.
Excellent.
I'll pick her up. We'll go to Venice. I'll check into the hotel. We'll grab an Uber. We'll head over to Mason's house.
I'll see you tonight, Cappy. I'll see everybody tonight.
Venmo me $200, please.
Nope, no chance.
I'm going to order a whole bunch of In-N-Out burgers.
No.
Jaeger bomb for Cap.
If Mason says that's okay, then we will deal with it at the house. How about that?
Okay, you got a deal.
If Mason says okay, then we'll deal with it. Doesn't mean I'm committed to it yet because, not everybody, most people will have eaten because they know Mason.